Ooh, guess what? We made a game, and it's called Bread Rolls, and it's an expansion to an existing game called Sandwich Masters. And if you like this show, you can support us by heading over to Kickstarter to check it out, link in the description.
In a world in crisis, can three idiots find hope in the darkest of places? Will love conquer all, or will hate win out in the end? This is a show called Hate.
Well, hello, and welcome to a show called Hate, a podcast in which we explore love, hate, and everything in between in search of greater meaning and perhaps a little perspective. I'm John.
I'm Nick.
I'm Chris.
What the fuck are you doing?
I was doing a T-Rex washing himself.
I was copying that.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was a T-Rex washing. I thought it was a cat.
It looked like a cat.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
It was great.
A T-Rex, of
I
course.
was thinking T-Rex because I had my arms folded up.
A
That's
T-Rex,
true.
of course, would not be able to reach its own head. one would imagine.
That's
true,
scientists
isn't
say.
it? That's
What
probably
the
why you thought it was a cat.
fuck do
Yeah,
I
how do you know? Were you there, John?
Yeah, were you there, John?
seeing it?
No,
You
but
don't know.
I have.
Go back in your time
You don't
chair.
know his life.
I have sat through a Benedict Cumberbatch narrated Walking with Dinosaurs-esque extravaganza.
I didn't know about this
Did he,
program.
did he do it as Smaug? That would be good.
Or Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
That's the two options.
Those are the only characters he's ever played.
There was
He
that-
should have done it as Doctor Strange because he's a time traveler.
There was actually a little floating, like little floating screen in the bottom right where
Yeah.
he was in a sound studio, but he was dressed as Doctor
Smaug.
Strange.
He did have a dragon head on, yeah.
Deary me.
Yeah. That wasn't CG, actually. It was Benedict Cumberbatch in a big outfit.
If anything, Benedict Cumberbatch is the CGI version of Smaug.
Yeah, it's the other way around.
Yeah.
Smaug did mocap. For
Yeah, you know all that
Benedict
footage.
Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
You know all that footage of Cumberbatch in a grey onesie with dots on his face, crawling around on a studio floor. That's the CGI.
That's the end product. Yeah.
Yeah, they were really happy with that.
I choose to believe that the producers didn't ask him to do that. In fact, they were quite adamant that he not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he just...
Benedict, please don't act the actions out.
They booked a very small booth that he
Yeah.
could only actually stand
So
up in, and
small.
he was like, "Nope, I require a large studio."
And one can only imagine that the footage of him, as you say, in a grey onesie with dots glued to him, they weren't recording.
No.
Like the cameras, the computers were off.
It turned out real nice, though.
They let him have his moment, and they took a few photos for social media,
Yeah.
but it was not.
That's great, Benedict. Yeah, just
Yeah.
humor him.
Just humour him.
It's part
No.
of his process.
The dots aren't doing anything.
This isn't a computer. This is a
And
bot.
there are actually no cameras in this room.
Benedict, you brought that onesie from home.
Who put the dots on him? He turned up like that. I don't know.
Are they real dots? I don't know.
I think he's hailing outside.
He's wearing a Velcro suit.
The institution, no, that's too obvious.
Okay.
The corporate entity with educational origins that I work for.
Nice. What county is that based in?
Coolshire.
There are many
Gloucestershire.
other institutions are available.
Sure.
Put on an online lecture, which I was involved with behind the scenes this week.
To be.
Yes.
Benedict Cumberbatch showed up.
No, but to its credit, it was very interesting, and it was the topic was a bunch of mostly angry biologists going, "Have wildlife documentaries gone too far?"
I've always asked that
In what
question.
respect? I'll tell you what one has.
Here we go.
Is that is it Eye in the Wild or Eye in the Cave or something like that? Anyway, there's animatronic versions of animals, and they put them into the colonies
With real animals.
with real animals, and the animals start caring for these robots like they're children, and then they think they've died, and they get very sad.
What's the purpose of this?
I don't know,
Morbid.
to get into the heart of things, I suppose. Anyway, that's probably where it's gone.
Seems mean.
It does seem mean.
Well, their point was that because drama sells, and because a nature documentary might be competing with a more popular sexy show,
Sex documentary.
that they have a sex documentary, yeah,
Exactly.
that they have to.
Sex cauldron.
That they have to sex up the life of animals.
Yeah.
So it's not enough that I think they're making a point that it was there was something Dynasties or something.
Yeah,
Does that ring a
was
bell?
Matt Attenborough one, I think.
Yeah, and it was they give them names. So here's a chimpanzee, because they're following chimpanzees.
Chimpanzees,
Yeah. And it's like, this is David, the chimpanzee. And it's always like, but David has grown old, and a new contender to the throne has arrived. And it's like,
I think I saw this one.
and it's like smash cut to a new, sexier, younger monkey.
Yeah.
This is Tarquin.
He just takes his shades off in slow motion.
Filmed in 3D.
This is a fake documentary.
That is Andy Serkis. I know it.
This is Tarquin. He's just the best.
He is. There is no bias here in the crew behind the scenes, but Tarquin is a fucking rad
He's
dude,
an absolute lad.
and he's gonna maul David to shit.
Tarquin came by the catering table earlier, and he was just a really cool guy.
Down to earth.
Yeah, really.
He was in his robe, monogrammed robe.
His personal chef's doing a barbecue tonight. Great work. But the point is, it's like Dave is no longer the alpha male.
Yeah.
He has a fierce battle ahead of him if he wants to reclaim his title, and then it'll be like close up of like a worried look.
They've spent weeks trying to get that shot of David looking worried.
They finally get it. Yes.
Yes, gold.
And the point was like, and then it's like, David is defeated or something like that, and now David must go without food for like a week or something,
Or some shit.
and they were like, that's not a big deal. They were like, that's normal.
That's nature. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Circle of life, bitch.
And then that's next week. David will be killing a different monkey. It's fine. Like it's just how it goes.
But they're trying to create this sort of human narrative
they're
for us all to
humanising
get.
the animals, basically.
Got to make it sexy.
Yeah. Because otherwise, humans wouldn't do that, arguably. Not as far as I know, anyway.
I
I'm
remember
sure
I
there are
watched
some cultures.
I watched a documentary once with a friend. She's a big animal lover. She's not big, but she likes animals.
She likes
She's
animals
normal size.
a large amount.
Yeah.
For a woman of her size.
And I'm no. And it was like all about the polar bears and how the ice caps are melting. And there was this really sad story about this mother polar bear who was like separated from a child, and she was just out there on the ice. And it sort of ended with the voiceover just going, and she'll probably never find her family ever.
Oh God!
And that is the sad truth of what is happening in the Arctic at the moment. And I turned to my friend, and she's just in tears, like there's tears streaming down her face. And I had to come up with this whole I'm sure she was fine.
I mean, respectfully, you don't know them.
No,
you don't know that polar bear.
No.
It don't affect me.
But also, I'm not convinced that with these sorts of documentaries, it's the same polar bear.
No,
because they need the
probably
shots.
isn't.
They need the shots of it walking off into the sunset. They need a shot of it stumbling because it's hurt its paw or something. I bet they filmed 20 different
They
polar
must
bears.
do, Have to.
You'd have to, yeah. I mean,
That's what I do.
A polar bear would not do that many things on one shoot.
No.
Surely.
You're not going to stumble. The first polar bear you decide to dedicate your entire team to follow isn't going to have the most incredible life story.
Imagine you
by
prepare
chance.
for 3 months to go and film that polar bear. It does everything you want in a day.
Yeah. Or it's
He's done it all. Oh, we can go home.
Or it's super boring.
Hire that polar bear.
Yeah.
You
Well, that's true.
He's a
Yeah.
natural.
Yeah, put him in a car.
I like the idea that, you've got, as you say, it's talking about, the ice caps melting and stuff, and they get up there and they're like, damn it, I just can't find a good shot of, some melting ice.
Everything looks great.
Get the flame, get the
Global warming.
get the flamethrowers.
Yeah.
Prod the bear. Get the bear to move.
Get angry.
Dave is seriously injured because I just nailed the fucker right in the kneecap.
I brought an AK-47.
Okay, no, somebody wound Dave.
Yeah.
Where's the wound team? Wound team.
And 4 guys with hammers.
The documentaries do these behind the scenes bits now. Can you imagine if they just went behind the scenes? Get the wound team in. And they just smash cut to just a shot. Bang, right
What are
in
we
the
talking?
kneecap.
Crippled, lethal? What are we talking here?
Yeah.
What do we need? What do we need?
It's Hank from the wound
Yeah,
team.
and as you say, it's like the camera pans across, and you've got 4 guys, and maybe some have got mustaches. They swig the last of his beer. They all pick up crowbars and they walk off panel. The voiceover comes in. He's like, "Yeah, I'm a veteran of the wound team industry for about 30 years now."
You name a species, I probably wounded it.
Butterflies?
Yeah.
Done it.
Adam all.
Name a species.
Man and boy.
Yeah. Generational.
I started off with frogs, and look at me now.
I've crossed every continent.
Granddad, you'd be proud of me.
You see, back in the day, we didn't have film cameras, so we were just
There was
doing
no
it.
one around to document this sample.
We were just out there punching seals.
The thing is, right?
No, you shut up.
No, I'm talking, right?
I bet you cannot tell me the best way to injure a chaffinch. I bet you.
Without splashing it.
The answer's going to surprise you, I tell you.
Any idiot with a claw hammer can kill a swan. It takes finesse.
There's no artistry in the claw hammer.
It's got like a cheese grater. Now, when
This is surprisingly effective when it comes to lowbrow scarring.
now your director comes to you and says, "We need a mountain goat that looks like it's fallen down a mountain." Yeah, I mean, you can go to town with a sack of marbles, but you really.
The work my granddad could do, he could put an elephant in a sling in minutes. I tell you, just lock him in a cage with a toothpick and an elephant. He'd put it in a sling.
Oh yeah, you got to work smarter, not harder. That's the
That's
thing.
what it
That's
is.
the thing.
If you want authenticity, you've got to bring the grill with you.
Oh my god.
So yeah, you're at this university.
Oh,
Oh, that was it.
ruined it.
No, quit. We'll fix that in post.
Yeah, cool.
University of Life Business.
Yes.
Yeah.
.com.
That's basically it. That was the anecdote.
So they
I
were
think-
saying documentaries have gone too far.
Yeah, and it was all very good natured. They had like a few documentary filmmakers
If you'll
on.
pardon the pun. Good natured.
I don't follow.
Good natured.
You on Twitter.
You're on Twitter, no.
Very good.
But they basically just talked about how they're in competition with like EastEnders and stuff. They've got to make it interesting. You mentioned like,
EastEnders and nature documentaries are actually very similar these days.
It's true.
yeah, and that's why there's always a crew with crowbars
Yeah.
on.
It's actually
is
the
the
same
thing.
crew.
The wound
It's just that
team-
that's what they do in the off months. They go to EastEnders.
There's now a wound team is basically a requisite for every show. Whether it's live action or pre-recorded or filmed in the wild. A wound team is what you need.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm on a job hunt at the moment, and whenever I see an advert for wound team member, I just think I don't have the experience. It's a surprisingly expertise.
I'm very-
filled sector.
10 years experience needed.
Must have injured at least 3 species.
Yeah.
In the last 6 months.
Take down a panther with a tent peg.
And you're like your resume, and it's like work experience. Panther,
Yeah.
sea lion.
It's like a table, and it's like panther on the left, and then item on the right that you use. Panther, mic stand, butterfly,
Yeah.
toothpick.
And it's like giraffe, domesticated and wild. Wow.
Gee, this guy.
Guys
guy-
have them both.
What a CV.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, that was it. I think we got all the comedy out of it, but that was
Great.
like,
Squeeze the comedy out
Yeah.
of that, I feel.
hey, there's a big weekend.
There's a big weekend coming up.
It's a big weekend coming up.
Well, we're recording on a day early today.
Yes.
Because
For this reason, kind of.
For sort of this reason, because I'm not around this weekend to see Liz, because I'll be on my stag do.
And we'll also be
You'll
there.
be there as the invited guest.
Stag.
Well, John's the organizer.
It took a lot of petitioning, but we were eventually invited,
Yeah.
which was great.
Well, I expected
You're the
John-
best man, which is amazing.
I expected John to organise it, but I didn't know he'd turn up.
That wasn't part of the plan.
And you'd be pleased to know that, months of planning,
Yeah.
doing
Sure.
a fun, engaging,
Yeah,
safe
sure.
event.
That all went out the window.
All went out the window when I believe some kind of football game happened recently.
Well, we're recording the day after England beat Germany.
Yes.
In the Euros, which means that at the stag they will be playing on the Saturday night.
And who are they playing?
Ukraine.
No, maybe Ukraine.
Maybe you are Crane. We're gonna have some fun, aren't we?
We are.
We're gonna have some
That's
fun.
just the
Gentlemen,
tip of the iceberg.
That's just the start of it.
Gentlemen, please, it's Fraser Crane.
Yeah.
Sorry, let's move on. Yeah.
That's a missed opportunity in Frasier, wasn't it? That they didn't have a cousin called Uke.
Short for ukulele.
Ukraine.
Lou Crane.
Lou Crane.
That
Would've
could,
been
be,
good.
that could be quite good.
Ukraine.
Yeah.
So England will be playing
England will be playing
Some kind of game.
some kind of football match.
Football game.
90-minute adventure.
So yeah, it should be good. The whole stag will build up to that crescendo. no
Yes.
doubt.
So it's nice to know that all that effort
Yeah.
and
And
energy
planning.
was possibly...
Basically could have been remedied by England playing football. Yeah.
I'm not saying that the vast majority of the people on the stag are easy to please.
However,
I feel if we had maybe like a, some kind of bucket and a TV. They probably would have...
A bucket filled with ice and beer and a TV, and everyone saying, that's the best stag I've ever been to. Probably.
And also, this is coming after like a year and a half of not doing anything ever. So I think standards are going to be pretty low.
I've forgotten how to do things.
Yeah.
So.
I think a base level of entertainment will be fairly sufficient.
Normally, going to an event like a stag, I would be like, in my head, I'd be like, yes, I'm going to a stag. I know what's involved. It's going to be a fun time with friends. But because I haven't done anything for over a year,
to do.
I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how to be.
There'll be some socialising, no doubt.
Exactly. How do you do that?
I'm going to have to put trousers
Yes.
on.
You could have done that today, to be fair.
Well,
that would have been good.
It's hot.
It is hot.
Very
It's hotter now.
Very muggy.
But yeah, that'll be a thing.
That'll be a thing. Can't wait. So that's in 2 days from now.
And we'll report back on this podcast.
Yeah, well, by the time this comes out, it will have happened.
We'll probably still be hungover.
We will report back, or our legal representatives will, depending on how. Depending
Someone
on what happens.
The next episode will just start with hello. And welcome to a show called Hate Limited. I am the appointed lawyer.
Well, as and when the game happens, maybe Nicholas and I will go, I don't know, sit in the woods.
You go sit in the woods,
Or
go
something.
orienteering for a couple of hours.
We might go hunt a
I
gazelle.
think you'll have had enough beers and be engaged enough in the group that you'll be well.
You're
up for
about
it.
to say something pretty controversial here.
Am I?
Yes.
What's that?
That I would, in any circumstance, be up for it.
You will be up for it.
Look,
I guarantee it.
You've known me possibly longer than...
You came to a England knockout game once.
Yes, I did.
And you bought an England kit.
There's a key word
Once.
there. Yeah, once. There we go. Yeah.
I think you'll be in for it. By the
You've
time
probably
it rolls
seen
around.
more football than I have.
Yes.
Which probably means you're more equipped to know whether
You've
or
seen
not
the
you're
lines around my eyes. Like, you know that's true. Yeah. When was that?
you'll be fine.
When was that Gillingham Stockport game?
Oh, Jesus.
The
That
last
was terrible.
football game I ever
That was
saw.
like 2012.
12?
Yeah, 11, 12, something like
Yeah.
that.
That was around like... So we're talking nearly a decade.
That was particularly poor.
Why,
Yeah.
why was it poor?
It was just a terrible game. We were in an uncovered stand when it was raining.
That's not great.
The
we
pitch
travelled
looked
all
like
morning.
a ploughed field.
Yeah,
it
really did.
really bad.
Yeah, that was one of the worst games I've been to, and I've been to hundreds.
I think I've talked about it on the air before.
Okay.
But that's when I pioneered the minute game,
Yeah.
which is where you look at the clock,
Oh, I think you did say
you
yeah.
look away, you count to 60, and then you look back to see how close you were.
Oh my god.
And if you get it
Fun
wrong the
game.
first time, don't worry, you've got 89 more
Another
tries to get
89 minutes plus stoppages.
Oh no.
Yeah, and I put, I remember I had my iPod Nano, because this was a decade ago.
Yeah.
And I had a single ear, I put some like music on. I had like a single earpiece up in my ear, and I was like, oh, this looks like I can get away with it. No one will get suspicious if I have that. And this guy turned behind me, he turned around and said like, hey, you listening to other games while this is on? I was like, yeah. Yeah, I am. God love that football.
Oh, the
I want
footy
to know
though.
all the scores.
There's been some kind of conversion in a different game.
A grand slam.
Best thing about that game was the coffee and Yorkie bar at
Lovely.
half time.
That does sound good.
I was a big fan.
Yeah.
That's the thing I'd be most excited for, I think,
Yeah.
going to
Well, you can have a Yorkie bar on Saturday if you want.
Yeah, but
Bring some Yorkie.
the
We'd have to
beauty-
bring our own, I guess.
The beauty of a Yorkie bar is you can enjoy it anywhere, anywhere and everywhere.
It is a portable chocolate bar. That's the first thing they say on the advertising.
Even non-sporting fans can enjoy a Yorkie.
It's true.
Absolutely.
Powerfully true.
I reckon you'll enjoy it. I reckon you'll come to me afterwards and say, oh, that was actually quite good.
You'll come to me afterwards, you'll cry, we'll laugh, we'll, get some stuff off our chest.
I was emotional last night watching the football.
I just don't know
Very
whether I
emotional.
want England to win.
I think for
Or
the
not.
good of the event, you probably
Yeah.
do.
But I also want to see. I also.
For the good of your own health, I
I
think.
also want to see the Stag transcend the need for football to make them happy.
You want
know?
them to grow as
Oh, I
people.
dunno.
I want to know that the Stag was good without a
Yeah,
win.
but it will be. It will be good up till 8 o'clock.
how
I
will we know?
guarantee the Stag will be great up until 8 o'clock on Saturday.
And
Which
then it
beyond
will-
that, I have no idea.
This is the thing.
I say that we take the podcast equipment with us, and you and I can record a bonus episode while we're staring at a swan or something. I don't know.
Is there going to be a swan?
There might be
There's
swans.
a lake there, isn't there?
It's out in the
I believe,
wilderness.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. It's all
Just
wild.
be careful not to fall into that.
I'll try very hard
With a
not
microphone.
to. No, it is weird though because I think my lifelong resentment of football, which I'm working very hard to kind of damp down.
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
stamping down on it deep inside because this is your special weekend.
Sure.
It's all about you.
But the game itself will be 2 hours
I'm aware, yes.
Why is that?
because that's how long games last.
I see. That's a good reason, I guess.
Nick, take notes.
Sorry, yes, 2
hours.
hours. Yes.
Jesus Christ, it will be like Deliverance if we get this wrong. Like, you have to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should.
Someone will go, "Hey Nick, what do you think of that passage of play?" Yes.
Yes, there was definitely a kick at
Yes.
some point there.
A kickness.
I do remember, like, when we lived in the House of Trouser.
Yeah.
About a decade ago.
More or less.
Maybe one of the reasons I moved out was all the football.
Yes.
In my
There
life.
was a lot of football. To be
Yeah.
fair, I couldn't manage that level now.
No.
And I don't.
Really?
Oh, and it was a lot.
It was a lot of football.
It was
As
a lot of
in,
football
like,
that we don't care about.
every day, I would say. There was football every day.
We watched
yeah.
every game on the telly.
I've been
Every
in that
game.
house a year before I realised we had Cartoon Network.
Yeah. That
That's
was good.
astounding.
Yeah.
But
But
no,
I see
I
why
don't-
you moved out.
I'm much better now.
There was an evening
last month.
where I believe myself, Chris Ray, and our good friend Richard Holton were all there, and there was a football game on because it was a day, and you know that's just what happens.
I know what you're going to say.
And I was in the corner, I had my laptop out, working on bringing my dreams to reality, working on bettering myself, and Holton and Rev were both just kind of like slumped off the sofa, and was kind of like drooling slightly, staring at the football. And I don't even know who was playing it. It was completely irrelevant, because it was like the 50th game of the week. And Holton said something like, "Oh, you don't save those," or something like that.
Yeah.
Like just like, and I just went, "Do you even listen to yourself while you're talking?"
What does that even mean?
You just
You don't save those.
yeah, you can just talk.
I think I said something like, "Oh, that's postage stamp."
Yeah.
That's a football term when it goes in the top corner.
See, now
Yeah,
you've
you put a
explained
stamp.
it. That's quite clever.
Well,
It sounds like the ravings of a madman out of
yeah,
context.
out of context. Certainly.
Yeah.
Most of the things I say do.
To be fair, yeah.
Because I like watching, because you turned me onto these. There's like
turned you
monthly. Yes, well, I mean daily.
First he takes his trousers off. Now
Yes.
Join me. But no, the win compilations on
yeah.
YouTube, which are great, which
They
are
are
wonderful.
great.
And nothing,
Like the opposite of failed.
nothing kills the mood
Oh,
more
yeah.
when an inevitable football clip turns up.
Well, yeah, you say that. Sometimes the football clips are quite impressive. They can be.
They can be.
it's a skill. People who are good at football make it look incredibly easy.
That's true.
Whereas if you watch me play, it looks incredibly hard.
Whenever I watch football, I'm like, I can do that.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, because none of us are players, and yet you've watched so many cumulative hours of
I
football.
talk a great game for somebody who's totally shit. And you'll probably see that this weekend if we've got ball-related games.
See, I would quite like to see the inevitable, his words,
Yeah.
and the others' words as they're watching the
Yeah.
game.
Oh,
I think I'll be watching the people watching.
I think you'll enjoy that element of it almost as much as the game, if not more.
We should
armchair
we
managers.
should record now. Maybe this is a niche. This would be the hot new podcast.
It's like Gogglebox,
Let's record commentary tracks for football games,
but we don't know anything about.
but we don't know anything
That's
about football.
that's the gimmick. Yeah.
That's the gimmick. Shh.
That's the hook.
You've got to be subtle about it.
Oh, I
Don't
see.
tell anyone.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah,
$1
I
million
see.
idea. Oh, Jesus Christ!
Oh,
Sorry,
my life. It's all going
choking
wrong.
on my own rage. I need a drink, and also
Okay.
we should have a hate.
Okay, I'll give you a hate.
Give me a hate.
My hate is that I'm a man of a certain age.
Sure.
Sure.
I think we all are.
I'm mid-30s now. No, I'm a simple man. I like simple things, and you know, my body can no longer handle the torrent of abuse that I give it on a physical level.
Okay.
That is my hate. I'm not necessarily talking about beer, but I'll start with beer.
Sure.
So I went to watch football last night. I had a few pints. Today I'm so achy. Remember when you were 18 and you just had a standard headache? And it was just like, oh, I've got a bit of a headache.
Yeah.
But that'll be all right. I'll have a couple of paracetamol and I'm good to go.
That was what a hangover consisted
That's
of.
what a hangover at 18 was like.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, at 35, I ache for days.
Now, somehow, alcohol has done something to your bones.
I don't know how that is.
Now,
It's
you-
just an age thing.
Now you had, you've already told me, but you had yesterday, not 4, not 5,
No, keep going.
not 6.
No, 2 more.
9.
I mean, what number could be
less.
higher? 8?
I ate pints. Yeah.
Lucky
Eight
number
pints.
8.
And
Now-
I actually feel pretty good today. And I'm still achy.
You
look
look
great.
You look
Thanks.
great.
I don't feel it.
Look, maybe.
Caveat.
I feel a bit sweaty, if I'm honest.
Sorry, caveat, asterisk. Down, read to the bottom of the page. You look great for a man who has drunk 8 pints.
Thank you.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
I would not
I
have
feel
known.
pretty good.
It's all relative.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
drinking a beer now,
It's quite
Which is
impressive.
mad.
which
in a
is
way.
crazy.
Yeah.
But alcohol is the obvious example because I get the aches afterwards, and it's a couple of days before I fully feel back to myself again now, which
Yeah.
is disappointing when you consider I used to be able to go out all night, and then
Put them
carry
away
on
like the
next
rest
day.
of them.
Exactly. I can still do that, but I suffer afterwards. The other thing that happened recently is that I thought for breakfast I'd have a tub of yogurt.
What?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The way you said tub of yogurt.
It was pretty.
Because a tub,
Yeah.
you could say a fromage frais is a little tub. But I think the way you said it made me think of like an industrial bucket you'd mix cement in.
Yeah, you're not far off.
Yeah,
If
okay,
you're
cool,
closer with that than you were with the tub of fromage frais.
Did you purchase this tub from a conventional supermarket
Yeah.
or some kind of veterinary supermarket?
For increased flow. And boy, was it.
Boy,
So I had a tub of salted caramel yogurt.
Oh, you didn't say it was salted caramel.
caramel. Changes
It
everything.
tasted nice. And then I went for a walk with my mum.
Oh no.
And
Wait,
midway,
volume.
go on.
Draw us a picture here, like volume-wise. It's hard to picture
We're
volume.
talking...
Is it the depth of your hand?
Like a bowl?
Yeah.
The depth of your hand. So like
Sort of the height-wise, it's about how big a hand is. But then
It's
the
a-
circumference
it's
of,
a
say,
cone
I don't know,
with-
like
A large
a mug of
orange.
tea.
It's a flat cone, yeah.
Okay, that's a
that-
massive amount of
Yeah,
yogurt.
it's maybe like a litre, I suppose. Something like
A
that.
litre.
Let's just round it up. Yeah,
Something like
Leah,
that.
why
Sounds
not?
like maybe a pint.
Pint, let's say a pint.
A pint
Was
of
it
yogurt.
was it a thick yogurt?
Yes. It was creamy and thick.
Did it have bits in it?
No.
Bit of chewing.
That's another thing. I don't like bits in my yogurt.
Oh, I do.
Oh, no.
Ah.
No, I don't like that at all. Anyway,
Okay.
I ate it all
Yes, you
for
did.
breakfast. I ate the whole thing
How quickly?
pretty quickly. And then I said, "Oh, let's go for a dog walk with my mum." And sweet Jesus, when we were leaving the park, it just went vroom right through me, and I just went,
It was at the door.
"No, this was in the park."
No, I mean it was at your door.
Oh, it was at my door. Yeah,
It was-
absolutely.
it was eager to get out.
It was,
Yeah.
it was a bit 5p.
It was cab endorsed Emmanuel.
You were turtle heading.
Yeah, I mean that suggests it was thick enough to be that. It was pretty watery.
Oh no, I see.
So
Yeah.
I just said,
Yeah.
I really need to get back. This is my mum's 35-year-old son saying this to her. I was just like, I really, really need to get home.
I have made
Wait, sorry.
a huge
Sorry.
mistake.
Mother.
Mother?
This has been a
This is your 35-year-old son talking.
Mother, this has been a delightful walk so
Yeah.
far. Now, I would like it if you could drive me home very quickly so I can make brown.
I mean, you put it in a very polite way. What I actually said was, uh-oh.
But she
I just
knew.
went, I really need the toilet. She went, what, we? I went, no.
No.
The other one.
No. So she drove me home.
Nice.
And
You
this is
shut
the
the car?
park by your house.
Oh,
So this
okay.
is that park. So we got there pretty quickly. And
That's
then,
not far from your house.
You know that
No,
time
I
when
know.
you know that time when you saw like a car just
Yeah.
burning the fuck down
Yeah,
your
the
road.
thing is, like, I saw them painting the road, and I thought it was like, I thought it was new tarmac or whatever,
yeah.
but it was
They did
browner.
need new tarmac. Yeah,
Yes.
tarmac, yeah. Well, I got Mum sort of pulled out the car and screeched at the drive.
Get out!
And Liz was out there cleaning the car, I think, and I just ran in. I just went, I need the loo, I need the loo. So Daisy's in the car with my mum, and I'm just running past.
like
her,
that- it's
I need
like-
the toilet.
It's like that thing when stunt drivers pop like
Yeah.
a perfect skid and you can just open the back door and
Yeah.
Step out.
Yeah.
Just sort of waddled into the house.
But the difference is that, like, if it's Captain America, he strides out in this confident stride, but you are sort of half squatted, hands
Very
on your
much.
bum, like running.
I
Oh!
was like Penfold walking in. And then I walked out the toilet. I was like, "Oh, sorry about that. I don't know what happened there." And Liz went, "You don't know what happened. You had a pint of yogurt for breakfast.
Let me tell you.
and nothing else." So I was like, "Oh yeah, that probably is it."
Yes,
Actually, now you mention it, yeah.
You make a good point, because, like, back when you were a kid, and even in recent history, like
Yeah.
your 20s or whatever, you don't think, oh, I should probably think twice before eating this pint of
Absolutely.
yogurt. You're like when I was at uni, for dinner, I once ate a block of cheese.
Yeah.
No consequences.
Quick question.
Hello.
Had you been diagnosed at that point?
No.
No, okay, right. No consequences at all.
No, nothing ever happened.
But then I bet afterwards you were like, "Yeah, I feel good. I feel fine."
I felt a bit full.
If you did that now, you'd be in the hospital.
I'd probably die.
I had a meal at university, which was a tin of baked beans with a packet of salt and vinegar crisps sprinkled on top. Like,
you go.
I was fine.
Exactly.
That's
If you had
croutons.
that now, you would be all over the shop.
I know.
But this is the thing, is that even now, you just saying can of baked beans with crisps on the top, I think
Yeah.
to myself, I'd probably eat that.
Yeah.
But now I have to second guess my first guess. My first guess is, yeah, I could probably eat that. Second guess is, no, hang on, is it weird though? Like, will it
Yeah.
destroy me internally?
You've
Yeah.
got to think of the aftermath now. That's the problem.
No,
with men of our
you're so
age,
right. You're so
You've got to
right.
consider what comes after.
Yeah.
I know, because again, I could do all the things you're describing
Yeah.
still,
Yeah.
but I know I've got to think. Well, I need a half day
Yeah.
for my gut to process what's
Yeah.
going.
Half day on the toilet.
Yeah.
I'll take a holiday for that half day, just to make sure. But yeah, you know, and as I say, I still do these things, but then afterwards I'm like, I shouldn't have done that.
Well, I think we're still
My
learning.
body is failing me.
I think we're at the beginning of old age. and we need to start learning the things that now you won't eat a pint of yogurt again.
No, not on an empty stomach, certainly.
No. But like you had to do it to find out.
Yeah, exactly.
You do gain an increased sympathy for like the elderly relatives you knew when you were younger, who might be like
You're just shitting all the time.
I, as an old person, I'm gonna have to shit myself a lot. I think that's gonna have to happen.
I'm just gonna have to.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna have to accept that. I think.
yeah. It is a It is a worry.
Because for the life of me, I'm not going to stop eating yogurt. So I'm just going to have to accept that that's...
The thing is,
you're doing it again.
Yeah.
They'll have like cyber nappies in the future, and it'll have a little wormhole that opens up, and your poo will just be delivered to the shit dimension.
Good.
And it'll be fine.
That'll be fine then.
They'll store it there until the dimension
That'll be excellent,
overloads.
won't it?
That can be a problem for the future generation.
Don't worry about that.
It's like reality itself is seeping shit.
But if there are young people listening to this, this is my forewarning
Just be warned.
to you.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
But it will happen. Go and eat that yogurt by all means. But it will happen to you too.
They called it the brown apocalypse.
It is weird. Like I know we've talked, I think, on many episodes about aching, like just kind of hating.
I thought you were going to say poo.
Hating.
But it does get worse if I go out for some drinks. No matter how many drinks, I'm aching the day after. It's not a headache. It's a general ache.
Full body ache.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna say I have no idea how you could even contemplate 8 pints. I think I'm drunk just hearing you talk about it. Like
I'll be drunk at 3.
Yeah.
Like this stag.
All the very best to you then.
Yeah. This stag is going to be a fascinating experiment and exploration in what I am now capable of post-lockdown.
That's going to be interesting.
That is the worry, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because, as you say, we're all a year
I wasn't a heavyweight before.
No, we're a year and a half older as well.
But I used to be able to probably, I'd probably do 5 or 6 of the night and I would be trashed.
Yes.
There's no way. There's no way. I know. There's no way I'll make 5 or 6 now. No way at all.
No. Because, like, at my...
I'm doomed.
Because here's the thing. Like, even at my peak and growing up with you...
Well, I'm not a heavyweight by any means.
Well...
Maybe not in the grand scheme of things, but in our eyes,
but,
you're a hero.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's some kind of, like, colossus, yeah.
This is me telling you that I ache.
But like,
Well, yeah.
we grew up and we our formative years, it was quite a boozy environment.
Sure.
It was always about booze. And at my height, I can manage like 5 pints.
Yeah.
And then I'm anyone's after that.
Yeah. Ruined.
But like 8, geez Louise.
Yeah, I think it was that.
It probably was.
I was there from 3:30 to about 10. So
If anything, it's more likely to be more than that, and you just forgot the rest.
Yeah,
Maybe.
like what is your liver? Your liver's like a miscellaneous bag of Meccano.
It's like
parts.
it's perfectly smooth, my liver, all the way through. It's like a marble.
Yeah, and here's the thing: like I haven't drunk anything in like 5 or 6 days.
Yeah,
I think.
Well,
Well, I'm breaking it now.
Oh,
because
present biz
I've been working
experience.
hard. I deserve it.
You deserve
I
it.
deserve a treat.
No, you
yeah.
do deserve it.
I don't. I should point out that I don't drink every day. In fact, I don't. I try to go a week because I went from Tuesday to this Tuesday, so that was a week without drinking.
Yes, indeed. And
It's not like I've got vodka on my cornflakes.
and then you certainly made it
Anymore.
You certainly made up for it. No, but my point is, like in lockdown, like if I'm feeling a little cheeky, I might have a couple of beers in
Lovely.
the evening, and then I'm like, oh god, I'm done. I'm so tired. What is it like 8:30? Jesus
That's the trouble
Christ.
now.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Your
Puts you to
body
sleep.
gets tired before it gets drunk now with beers.
Oh, didn't even think about
That's a
that.
thing. That is a thing. You get tired before
The
you
thing
get
is,
drunk.
I haven't pursued, like when I was younger, obviously, it was like, let's get drunk of a night.
Yeah.
I haven't pursued, at the moment, I drink to quiet the mind. Right?
Yes, and
It's one of the most effective
Hush,
ways.
mine. Hush.
And I've got to say, I'm going to take a kind of dark pride in that because
Oh, God,
you
yeah.
were always the more respectable one of the three of us.
Well, thank you.
And
Congratulations.
I do like how there's a break, while we're all dealing with the horrible ramifications of COVID, and then we come back together, and then Nick's like, "Let's have a fucking drink."
Come on!
So I just need it.
I need it.
I don't want it. I need it.
It is highly effective at quieting
It's
the
very effective.
Oh,
Yeah.
And but yeah, the idea of pursuing getting drunk is something I haven't done. So the fact that I may fall asleep before I achieve that goal, because
you
my
can't
body
rule that
has
out.
aged in that time, and I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
It's another prime example of
And if
what's
it's
getting you down.
and if there's any
one's body.
if there's any young people listening, obviously we should say drinking is terrible, and we never do it.
Never.
It's terrible. Don't.
And we don't recommend it.
But also, like you can only understand it from the inside looking out, where sometimes getting a proper drunk on,
Oh yeah.
it's like a skill.
Yeah.
You go like, I'm gonna cultivate.
But the
it
young
tonight.
people can
Yeah.
do it. The young people can stay awake.
It's a chemical equation. It's a balance.
Yes.
Because you can't just go, what, and just drink shitloads. Because you'll pass out, or you'll be so drunk you won't have a good time. If you can walk that line where you're sat on sort of mega tipsy,
Yeah.
where it's like super top end of tipsy.
It's very difficult
but
skill.
It's
I
incredibly
know.
difficult because one drink can push you over. And I found that a good thing that used to work for me is if I had a bit of a dance. I would like burn a bit off,
Nice.
and then I'd be like, "Oh, I'll get back on a quick vodka and lime."
Yeah.
Like level back up again.
But you're like a Baryshnikov on the dance.
I mean,
floor.
I am.
Like, it's beautiful.
I won't
yeah,
lie,
like
I
you know,
absolutely am.
he
Ballad
We'll
burns.
dance this weekend, will we?
Probably
Be dancing.
Someone will dance.
I'll be up for that.
Yeah, we'll put some tunes on.
Oh, of
Tunes.
course. Hang on. Music.
Oh yeah,
Make a note of that. That's fine.
He's gonna go on the group later. Go. He wants fucking music now.
What is
wants-
music?
he wants-
Jesus Christ. He was-
Does anyone know any songs?
No.
Yeah. Because it's like alcohol is a terrible thing and no one should ever drink. But also,
But if you're going to,
when you are, as you say,
mega tipsy,
on the tipsy, like mega tipsy, you're invincible.
the world is
But
yours.
you feel incredible.
It's a magical place
Feel
where
incredible.
you're feeling good.
We really shouldn't sell this.
No.
But yeah, it's very difficult to attain and sustain that.
Oh,
level.
100%.
No, I do remember we many a year ago we went on a kind of trip down to Canterbury to visit our good friend Will Train,
Yes, he was there.
who is also
I like Canterbury.
it's a nice place, and I vividly remember we went to some kind of pub, which there were many pubs, other pubs are available, but we went to some kind of pub where it was like it had been around like 1,000 years
Yeah,
or something.
it was very tiny.
It's an old
corner
medieval
thing.
town, isn't it, Canterbury?
Basically a hole.
Yeah,
A hole.
That pub had been around
not,
so
not
long.
the town.
It was, no, I was going to say that's a bit mean.
Language didn't exist when
Sure,
that pub was.
it was a well.
Yeah, it was a well, yeah.
Yeah.
And they served like a kind of 12% cider.
It did. It was just pints of wine, basically.
Yeah.
that's pretty much.
I
What it
do
was.
vividly remember that night and going like, this was like a decade or more ago. And in that pub, standing outside, drinking that pint of wine basically and going, and that's the moment when it turned. You know, that's when
you tipped.
the mega tipsy went away. And I was like, oh no.
Fuck.
And I definitely feel that like I stood there for like an hour just kind of like swaying.
The worst thing is being aware of the tip.
Yeah.
Like if the tip can happen because it's obscured by happenings, like we're all having a laugh, or you're on the dance floor, or a myriad of other things are happening in the night, and you find yourself in the drunk zone, but it's taken some time because you've been distracted. That's infinitely better. Still bad because you've ended up in the drunk zone.
Yeah.
It's still bad, but like it's better. But if you're there on the cusp and you feel it tip, like you say when you stood outside, there's no.
Uh-oh.
That's the night ruined.
It came back later.
That's good.
Yeah, I remember
Remember,
like
just down to a couple of waters.
Yeah,
and
if
you'd
you've
be
got
right as
presence of
rain.
mind to down some waters.
I also remember we all got takeaway on the way home, and
can help.
I asked for gravy,
Oh yeah.
chips,
Just a cup of
gravy,
gravy.
it's a couple of
You went straight from
couple
boat to
Bovril,
throat.
please, yeah. I wanted chips, cheese, and gravy. There's not much to ask.
No, it's
not
not.
too much to ask for, is it? And I got the wateriest. They offered it. It wasn't like I was saying like, oh, I'll have I don't know, a fillet steak or something. It was on the bloody menu.
Yeah.
But you had to go whip up some kind of like powdered gravy.
You've got to, it's not difficult.
It was just brown water. It was the most like.
It's not difficult.
Yeah.
It's river water.
Make a
basically.
nice thick gravy
Yeah.
with granules. It's easy.
Was it on chips? You say?
Yeah.
All right.
Chips and gravy.
Soggy chips.
Basically poutine.
Yes, true.
But it gets what he upended was more like Bovril.
I prefer
which-
curry sauce on chips now. If I'm picking.
I feel like the last time I had curry sauce on chips, I had a migraine almost immediately. The moment I put it, it's very thick.
It is. Yeah.
I was rubbing it into my eyeballs as well. That's
that'll
not the
do
right
it,
way
yeah.
of doing it. I've got 8.
Oh, you beat me to
John
it.
just got in there.
Yeah, snuck in.
I hate self-proclaimed entrepreneurs
Uh-oh.
Okay.
putting it out there.
So who in particular?
People
Or are
who
we
say
just saying
they're an
generally?
entrepreneur.
Yeah, no.
Hi, I'm an entrepreneur.
Yes, anyone and everyone. Like, I'm sorry. If you're listening and you call yourself an entrepreneur, I appreciate I'm alienating.
We don't know anyone like that.
I do. Yeah. I think there is a what's the word? Pretentiousness.
There you go.
About saying you're an entrepreneur because everyone's making money. Everyone's trying to make money. Everyone's trying to make that.
Everyone's on
green.
the. Everyone's on the grift.
Everyone is always be closing. That's what I say. But To say that you're an entrepreneur is saying that you're doing it on a higher level than
There's
everyone
also,
else.
but also, it's like saying nothing.
It's also, yeah.
You do not need a qualification to say you are an entrepreneur.
No.
But if you go up to people, hi, so what do you do? Oh, an entrepreneur. I'd walk off.
Yeah, like, fuck off.
Is there a more immediate and obvious shorthand for dickhead? I do
Not that I know of.
I do not know it. And the reason I've had this on the back burner for a while, and the thing that prompted it is
Come on.
right? I was listening to a podcast all about con artists,
Oh.
and they did an episode about Fire Festival.
Yep, that famous festival.
Now, I've watched the documentary. It's very entertaining. I get a dark, immense joy out of how shit it is. And what was it his name? Billy McFarland, the scammer, as they
take your
say
word
it,
for it.
who ran the thing.
Sure.
Multiple scams, multiple business ventures which have just bilked people for money. And they were playing like audio clips of him talking, like before it all went to heck, you know, and he's describing himself. And he's like, well, I'm a tech entrepreneur. Because it's like he dropped out of university because he had an idea for a business. It's just like, you do not need a qualification.
Why
to
would
call
you do that for a start? That's
But this
just
is the-
craziness. I've
That's
dropped out
another
of
thing, though.
university because I've got a good idea.
Having an idea for a business, you could call that self-employed.
Yes.
You could call that sole trader. Or you could call it entrepreneur.
I'm not against the idea of entrepreneurs.
No.
Like, people have to be entrepreneurs.
If someone, say you went on the telly and said, "Oh, we're here with entrepreneur Billy McDickhead or whatever,"
Yeah.
he's not calling himself that. They've called him.
That's a different
This
bag.
is what I'm building to. I kind of feel that like it's the same where like it's a word genius. It's like you can only be called it by someone else.
Yeah.
You'd never introduce yourself as a genius.
No,
Hi, I'm a professional genius.
I'm a genius.
What do you do? I'm a genius.
Yeah. Or it's like you say like, this is my masterpiece. You don't get to say.
Yeah.
You do not get to say that something is your masterpiece. Only other people can proclaim.
It's very true.
Yeah.
It's very true, yeah.
And so that's my thing. It's like, and I bet. Well, actually, no, I don't have to bet because I know. Look at The Apprentice.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say that.
Every idiot on that show, from
The one of the, because they do all these talking heads on The Apprentice where they make them show off and say just ridiculous things so they can stitch them up later, basically. And this one, I always remember one who just went, "When I was a baby, my first word wasn't mummy, it was money."
Oh my god.
And you just think, fuck you. Honestly.
That says more about your parents, to be honest.
Yeah, well, yeah. My mummy was not there.
Say money.
Yeah.
Say money.
But
they make them say that and they just look like knobs.
Yeah.
Well, The Apprentice is like a perfect example of it because, you know, it's like...
They all introduce themselves as
12
entrepreneurs.
contestants or whatever, you know, you're going to get to know them over the coming weeks, you know. They're all living in a house. They're all in their 20s.
Sure.
Yeah.
They're all wet power dressing.
Yeah.
You know, lots of sharp lines,
Yeah.
you know, haircuts, you know. It's all very like, you're dressing the lifestyle. And they're like... Frank from Ipswich is a 22-year-old tech entrepreneur, you know, and it's like, what does that mean?
What have you
Frank?
done? What do you do, Frank? Day to day, 9 to 5, Frank. Sit down, fucking tell me what you do.
Yeah, and what it really means is Frank lives at home with his parents
Yeah.
and doesn't have a proper job because he thinks he's destined for great things.
Yeah.
You know, we need ambition. People need to have ideas. You also need to have a job. Everyone needs a job. I'm sorry, like, goodwill and bullshit is not enough to sustain a business.
It's a very certain kind of person on that show. And
Yeah.
they are all pretty much the same.
Sociopaths, you might say.
Yes, I might say that.
But I also feel like an entrepreneur is someone who defines themselves as someone who thinks of money-making ideas but doesn't want to work. Because if someone was like, I'm an engineer, I'm an inventor, say,
Yeah.
and I'm going to come up with new technology, they love the idea of getting onto their workbench and building the latest prototype.
Yeah.
But an entrepreneur doesn't give a shit about that.
No.
An entrepreneur is the kind of person who makes money by getting other people to do shit and fundamentally doesn't really do anything themselves. Really, they sort of they mobilize others.
And I get that sometimes you need, like, a bit of swagger.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you do need people who aren't talented.
You need the leader or the ideas man,
but
or
they're
whatever you
good.
want to
Yeah,
call
but they're
it.
good at business. But like, you cannot call yourself an entrepreneur. It
Call
means
yourself
nothing.
I'm just a businessman.
Yeah.
That's a slightly less
Yeah.
offensive version.
Yeah. What to say? I own a company.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, that's
makes
fine.
X.
Yeah. Why can't it be that?
You're like, oh, that's very interesting. Please tell me more.
It's almost like they feel that by saying that they are underselling themselves, and that, if anything, shows their pretension. Doesn't
Like, what is there a descriptor which is worse than entrepreneur? I'm thinking like innovator. That's like,
Influencer.
They sound okay.
What?
Just
influencer.
Yeah.
But what
Because influencer is like an Instagram thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but isn't it also like, because it's a similar sort of term, because it's one of those convenient, really broad catch-all terms for I'm on the internet. Like, how many followers do you have to have before you're an influencer? Yeah. Has anyone ever defined that?
There must be a threshold.
Because I've got 500 followers on Instagram, so I influence 500 people with my content.
That's more followers than I have.
That's more followers than I have.
Put together.
But no more followers than my dog has.
Shit.
Really?
I can't compete with a dog on Instagram.
She has like 600, yeah.
Your dog is a fucking influencer.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
But this is the thing. Like, if she is,
yeah,
then, then we all are. Well, no, we're not. But Daisy is.
Yeah, but then who posts for Daisy? She doesn't have thumbs, This guy.
Yeah.
The power behind the throne.
Yeah.
Some might say.
But then if I put
she's
myself
the talent.
on there, yeah, exactly. If I put myself on there, no one would do anything.
You'd probably lose followers.
Yeah, absolutely I would. Absolutely I would.
I'd be disappointed.
Yeah. It is, but again, it's like a sad indictment of the world. This is where I am just full on transitioning into grumpy old man.
Sure.
Now. Because it's like,
I think that's going to be a bit of a theme for this episode.
There we go.
We're all on it.
because an influencer is nothing, but it is also, in a weird way, kind of important.
The thing is that they don't have another word for it. So take, for example, people on, I don't know, TikTok, right? And what they do is they what is it when they don't sing the words, they mime,
yeah,
and they dance.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Like, how could you describe what they're doing to their? How would they describe it to their grandma when they go see their grandma at Christmas? Oh, how are you doing, dear? How are you making your money? I mime along to famous pop songs, which I didn't write or make or sing. I can't sing. I can't really dance. But I do kind of get my abs out a bit.
Sure.
And then everyone likes.
I guess I'm just conventionally good looking, I suppose.
And then I shake that.
Yeah, I just shake it.
Oh, that's nice, dear. How much are you making?
An abnormal amount of money, Grandma.
Crazy amount.
I danced for Neville Chamberlain.
Yeah, it's not the same, Grandma.
It's very similar but completely different.
So in order to get around that inconvenient conversation with Grandma, because Neville Chamberlain will inevitably come up, and he always
comes back to Neville Chamberlain.
He was right to appease the Nazis.
Yes, Grandma.
He was a real gentleman.
I coaxed him into it with my dance. You say influencer, don't you? Because there's you're not making anything.
I don't like the term influencer, though.
Neither do
No,
I.
I hate it. No, it makes me sick.
It suggests that people are so weak-willed that you're able to just convince them to do something just by putting a photo up.
It defines these people who arguably are doing and creating nothing at all. It defines them by the fact that they are able to influence others. Now, I would argue that actually they can't. They don't.
Nah.
They have potentially the potential to influence because they've got thousands of people following them. That doesn't mean they do, though.
On a kind of related note, we're currently running a Kickstarter for an
here we go.
for an amazing card game called Bread Rolls. But
this is an excellent
no wait,
really good.
But we got contacted today by a company going like, hey, if you pay us money, we'll, here's our breakdown of our fees. It's like,
services.
$50 we'll do a post, or $200 we'll do a story on Instagram. Oh. And then I checked out their account on Instagram, going like, well, maybe they're the hot shit, as I hear. And they had a fair number of followers, but like each post they put out maybe got like 17 likes.
Yeah. I get more than that.
Yeah, my dog definitely gets one.
Your dog definitely gets one.
They'd done a similar post for like some other Kickstarter campaign, which ironically was for a card game about influencers.
Oh my God.
And it's like, check out this great new card game on Kickstarter. And it got like 8 likes. And someone commented going like, this is a shit game. Why? Yeah. Why would we give you money?
Oh my God.
Why would we give... Oh, Jesus.
There's a good example of like failed influencers when Rita Ora said on Twitter, I think it was, hey guys, if this gets 1,000 retweets, I'll release my new single tomorrow. Oh, no. Didn't get anywhere near.
Oh.
Anywhere near.
That's painful.
And then she said, oh guys, my account was hacked.
Oh, sure.
Oh,
and it was
Jesus
just like,
Christ.
oh, Rita Ora.
Didn't old Wayne Rooney going on to the football? Didn't he get into trouble for some kind of like sponsored tweet about how much he loved Mars bars or something like that?
Probably. You have to declare it, don't you? That's a hashtag ad or whatever.
It's come a long way from where it used to be. Yeah.
There's a great
I'd
account.
imagine Rooney does love Mars bars, to be honest.
There's a great account on TikTok called Influencers in the Wild, and it's basically people who have filmed people filming TikToks and making Instagram stories and reels and stuff like that. And so it's them like viewed from really far away like a spy camera, and they're doing like these sort of little moves into the camera and they think no one's watching. It's just them being spied on. They look like idiots. And there's a great one where there's a girl like walking down a street and she's got her best mate in front of her walking backwards, filming her on her phone, and she's singing at the top of her voice like this. And the guy filming it out of his like house window, like bedroom, is like, it is fucking 6:30 in the morning. What the fuck is this woman doing?
There's one other woman, like, I assume this was for TikTok. It's someone filming her filming it. And she's like holding a hammer, like pretending to like do something, like put a brick down or something like that. Something construction based. And then as soon as the camera goes off, she just hands the hammer back to someone and gets in the car and drives off. And that was all filmed and goes on TikTok. Or whatever.
But some people, and this is the sad thing, is people would maintain that is a skill.
I mean, there's a confidence aspect, there's a slight performance aspect to it. I'll admit.
Yeah.
And also there's the age-old like the argument. Oh, I could do that. Yeah, but I didn't. Did I?
That's the thing.
I didn't do it.
But annoys people that you think, oh yeah, I could have done that and I've done something very similar. Well, they did better. Yeah. Unfortunately for you.
Unfortunately, the truth is, they did.
You do,
and they're probably hotter than you.
I think.
I'd imagine so.
Yeah. Also,
that's a prerequisite.
No one in this room is hot enough to be an influencer.
How
let's be honest.
Dare you? But yeah.
Well, let's be honest.
I mean, Daisy. Daisy is the closest.
Daisy is the hottest commodity.
She's a good-looking dog.
Yeah, she is.
She's an attractive dog. Let's not lie.
Yeah.
Credit where credit's due.
Yeah, you can't take that away from her, can you?
So if you could get, because there's a big thing. The big influencer kind of like shot is beautiful person. Say
sorry.
I was trying to do that quietly.
That was a really good slide of the chair. No one would have noticed.
Heard
yeah.
that.
So
does anyone else want to be?
I'll have one of my little ones, actually. One of my tiny, distant ones.
Well, I might go for Nick's other big one because I'm feeling a little cheeky tonight. Yeah. But no, so the classic influencer shot is beautiful person wearing something sexy or revealing.
Tight.
But then they're like just holding, for the benefit of the listener at home, I'm holding a bottle of Tiger beer right now. And they're holding it to the side, but it's just such a way that the
label is forward.
Yeah, and it's always energy drinks.
Yes.
It's a lot of energy drinks.
Yeah, well, there's that energy brand. I think it's called Bang.
Bang.
And it advertises purely through social media and influencers. And all they do is they just have to have it in shot. It just has to be in the shot while they're doing what they do. So there's this one account I've seen where these guys have, there's trampolines that are next to a wall, so they can bounce and they can sort of run up the wall, kind of parkour-esque, and then they do a flip off the wall. Parkour! And then they fall back down onto the trampoline again. And they all of their TikToks are just doing different flips, and they're all topless and sexy and everything. And then in the background, or just in their hands, it's just bang, 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 bang. It's always there, this can of bang.
But does it work? Does anybody look at that and not go, this is genuine marketing? I'm well up for
interested
this.
to see the correlation between that and sales.
I would also.
Yeah.
Like the actual views, I don't doubt, are probably quite big.
I mean, we've discovered, that obviously getting people being aware of your brand is everything.
Oh, yeah.
So we're talking about it now. We're talking about Bang Energy.
It's working.
We're part of the problem.
Yeah.
I don't want one, though.
I think it syncs up with this idea of their lifestyle. Like, part of what is cool about these influencers is that they're drinking Bang. Because if you're big enough for Bang to contact you, then you've made it. So the kids want to drink Bang too, because then they feel like they've made it. And so they're all trying to like snowball toward a dream that it's like a pyramid scheme, but they're at the bottom.
Now, I feel I should announce that we as a podcast have been approached by no, this is genuine. This is not a joke.
Oh, have we really?
We have been.
I didn't know this.
We have been. I think they approached a lot of people. We have been approached by a company that offers a testicle shaving
you did tell me
product.
This, yeah.
And
I think I was approached by these guys.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's
what are they called?
I can't remember.
Hang on, I'm gonna look up because I think someone contacted me.
I mean, I'll happily talk about nearly shitting myself on this podcast, But I draw the line at shaving my balls live on the air.
But that's the thing. Like, I don't think I'm quite ready to have that genuine, not scripted discussion with you two right now, where we can talk about shitting ourselves. That's fine.
That's fine.
But if we ever sit down and go like, "Hey guys, I tried a really hot new product at the weekend, and my balls have never felt more streamlined." You know, like.
Thing is, I would say, goodness, John, that's a weird thing to say.
Saying, goodness, John, you're sitting funny. What's up with that?
John, you look 3 inches taller.
Your back's straighter.
Well, I'm glad you asked. Hey, John, is your centre of gravity shifted? Well, it's funny you mentioned that. Yeah.
Hey, John, you never wear trousers, but this time your balls are shaved.
As it turns out, we're now giving them free advertising.
Fuck. Well, I've forgotten their name, and I can't find them on my messages.
The name's irrelevant, and they're probably... Well, to be fair, I don't think they listen to us anyway. Or
I think they're called Smooth My Balls.
Smooth My Balls, yeah.
I think that's what they're called.
Check them out. We're not getting paid.
Yes!
We're screwing this up.
We're really not getting paid.
I think the one thing we have learned here is that if we want to promote Sandwich Masters, our new card game, which is currently on Kickstarter...
A great new card game, which is currently on Kickstarter.
We should get the only influencer we know, Daisy.
Daisy?
To promote it.
Yes. Yes, if we had a shot of Daisy just slowly destroying a copy of the game in her powerful jaws.
Exactly.
Perfect.
That's going to sell itself, frankly.
How do you build this audience for your dog?
Yeah.
I do a lot of hashtags.
Do
like
you?
just Black Lab.
No more than 30,
Hashtags.
though.
That's true.
That's true. You're
That's
not
the
allowed
limit.
more than that. Just lots of hashtags and people follow her, and it's nice.
Would you say the average Black Lab owner is a little less discerning when it comes to Instagram and will follow any old shit?
What? Yeah, probably. Any old shit that's a Black Labrador, probably.
I would say if you needed to market an account on any social media platform and it was about either a dog or a cat, you're probably going to be all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People like dogs.
Love them.
And cats.
And cats.
And cats.
I know you
All-
might
both
not
of those.
specifically.
Yeah, cats attack me.
Yeah. That's because they see the fear in
They
your eyes.
do. That's
Yeah.
exactly why it is.
They know the truth.
Yeah.
They know what
They
you
can
did
see into my soul.
last summer.
Cats are very busy at night. They've seen the things,
I do a lot of snoring, apparently.
Yes. And in the before times, there's probably, many an instance where you've walked home from a pub
Yes.
or another establishment and have expelled some kind of fluid from your
I
body.
can't rule that out.
Yeah.
No.
And the
So-
cats have a network, so they report back.
They talk
across
to
the
each other,
network.
don't they, the cats? Yeah. All of the cats.
I've got a hate.
Oh, what a weird coincidence.
It dovetails nicely with what we were just talking about.
Excellent.
Because I hate TikTok Live.
Uh-oh.
Yes. TikTok Live is a place on TikTok. It's not a place. It's a service.
It's an
that
area.
TikTok does. Where you can literally just go live. It's a lot like Facebook Live.
What was it? It was called Periscope.
Or Twitter's Periscope.
Yeah,
Twitter's
I remember
Periscope.
Periscope. That was a fun feature.
I do remember hearing about that.
Yeah.
But I'd forgotten.
It was
about
just
it.
live.
It's exactly the same principle, but for some reason, the way people use Facebook Live, they usually have something to say.
Sure.
Now, I'm going to go live with this.
Excellent.
I'm going to go live with this announcement. I'm going to go live because I'm launching some sort of Kickstarter and I want to do a shout out for it.
Yes, indeed.
And
yes.
you would schedule it on your Facebook page or your fandom or your group or whatever.
Excellent.
And they'd get excited about it. Not so for TikTok.
Oh.
No. It seems that on TikTok people just go live for no reason at all, and then they just sit. And when you'll come across them because they'll just appear in the scroll as you're just scrolling
Yeah.
through. And they'll just be a goon staring into their screen, just
God.
stock still, like.
What, do they read like...
And what they're doing is
quick
they're
Q&A?
reading the comments because people are commenting live, right? And if
Yeah.
you join the live, which you can do just by hitting the screen, you can see the comments as they go by, right? And you can watch their eyes because literally all you're doing is you're staring into the vacant face
Oh, God.
of a goon on the other end of their phone, and you can see their eyes just flicking up and down as they're reading the comments, and then they'll just go, "Yeah, I'm 28. No, I'm naturally blonde.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm 5'6". And I'm like, oh, she's answering the questions as they pop up.
So,
And that's it.
what sorry, get my words wrong. What annoys you more? Is it the concept of TikTok Live, or is it the fact that the platform is inherently vacuous and empty?
Maybe a bit of both.
A little bit of both.
I would argue that the platform itself, in terms of like TikToks, things that people have created, I think is quite good.
Sure.
I enjoy it.
I think it can be quite creative.
yes.
Having seen some TikToks.
Yeah. And I think it's very much like Vine too. And
Okay.
I liked Vine a lot. I thought
Sure.
there was a lot of very funny things on Vine, people really creative with the platform. And being similarly creative on this, there's great music, there's great comedy, there's even some art stuff on there. People making tiny little minute-long short films, horror films even. It was quite cool. I've seen some of those. and then there's the Burks, the people who are just, maybe just miming or dancing or whatever, or shaking what they got, what God gave them. Nice. But, and, all power to them, I guess.
More power to them,
they seem to get more followers.
With a can of bang in the background.
With a can of bang.
Yeah.
And so, like any platform, there's the dickheads and there's the people who are using it for good, I guess. The thing with Live seems to be that I would have thought that Live would have been reserved for when you had something to do or something to say. Like, hey, I'm a painter. I'm going to go live and show my process Bob Ross style.
That would be interesting.
Of doing a painting. That would be interesting. But that's not what we get.
Yeah.
We get people who have just gone live. And then you can see how many people are like who are following them.
Yeah.
And it's like 15. And it's like, what? You're not even some big
Mr. T Talk must be spinning in his grave, seeing all this shit.
Yeah, the empire he built on quality content.
Yeah.
Are you potentially following the wrong people?
Well,
Could
potentially.
At least just your friends.
I rarely go on. So you can follow people on TikTok, and then you have 2 tabs at the top of your page. You have following and for you.
This is interesting because I've never TikTok.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
so
I've seen TikToks on other platforms.
It's literally the extent of it. You can either hit following, and all you'll see is a stream of videos from people you're following.
I see.
Or you can hit for you, and that's TikTok suggesting things to you.
Okay.
Algorithmically. And that's where you'll see these lives, people. It's TikTok thinking, hey, Nick wants this.
Nick wants to learn how tall this person is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nick wants to see if they're a natural blonde.
Because you're like you are like my canary down the mine.
You've sent down a TikTok mine.
Yeah, because I'm not willing to go down there and die.
Sure.
But you will go down.
I'm slowly dying.
Yeah, indeed, yeah. And
the experiment's working.
But you send me like missives from the frontier.
I hack away with my pickaxe of social media.
There's a gem.
Day.
There it is.
Day in, day out, yeah. No one wants to see my pickaxe of social media. I send it to so many people. I hack away with it, and then every now and then I find a nugget. And I'm like, John would like
that, yeah.
And I traipse back up the tunnel I've dug, and it takes me days.
More content for John.
put it in the mine cart.
And I'm there at the pit entrance, like top hat, waistcoat and tails.
Long mustache.
Sure, yeah. You're just there counting your TikToks.
In your hot air balloon.
Where's my content? Where's my content?
Deliver me more!
I'm Phineas Fogging it at the top. And you give me that gem, and I look at it.
100% fogging it.
Put like a little eyeglass in and go.
It was all right.
Yes, not bad.
It is funny because sometimes I'll send you a talk, and you'll be like, "That's very funny, Nick," and maybe I'll get a crying, laughing emoji, and I'll be like, "Yes." And
I've done it. Yeah.
I've never sent a crying, laughing emoji.
No, that's true. You haven't actually. I'm sorry.
You might get a thumbs up. Perhaps.
Maybe I get a thumbs up.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I'll send him one, and I just get ho ho, and I'm like, oh fuck.
And sometimes you just get nothing.
That wasn't. Yeah.
Sometimes you get blocked.
Those are the worst. I have to create new accounts just to get around it.
John.
Sometimes you send me like something which gives me strength. Like it actually
empowers
I feel empowered because of how wondrous it is. But they can't all be winners.
No, they can't. And the more you reject me, and it's fine, the more I'll learn what you want, and I'll go back down the line.
And that's why I have so many kind of burner accounts with other canaries. Because you're all disposable ultimately, and
you're just there fogging it at the top.
Yeah.
The relationship I'm imagining is Nick is Ray in the Star Destroyer,
yes,
looking for ticks or tocs, and John is Unkar Plot, going, "Oh, this TikTok is worth 1/4 portion."
Oh, he's the big jelly man.
He's the big jelly man.
Yes, I remember him. Yeah,
You're him, John.
I have no fucking idea.
You're the big jelly man, played by Simon Pegg.
With their little hatch, he was there
in The Force Awakens. 1/4 portion.
And she goes down into a junk ship.
Come on, John.
I'd say I'd be ashamed, but we're 87 episodes in, so I don't this is the bed I've made.
Yeah, it's true.
That's what I'm picturing anyway. But in TikTok version,
it's the same. It is the same.
Do you feel old on TikTok?
I did it first.
He does because he is.
I do because I am. It's true. Well, yeah, nothing can change that inherent feeling that I am out of touch. And quite often, here's an interesting thing, which we'll all like, millennials. I will come across a TikTok and it will be completely a mystery to me.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, it's full of references and words, and so I'll Google it.
Brilliant.
I'll close TikTok and I'll head to my browser on my phone. I'll be like, what is sheesh? And I'll have to go on Urban Dictionary to look up meme origins. And rarely I'm not enlightened.
Yeah.
I'm usually not enlightened.
Yeah.
And I'm like, chalk up another one for something I'll never understand.
But everyone's been at that point where they've said, "Oh, I don't do that. I don't watch that." But you've got a vague understanding of what it is.
The thing is, I'm not going to give up because I think this is what happens when you
I refuse to concede.
Like I think what happens when you get
Holding
older.
back the tide.
Yeah, it is inevitable. I'll give you that. But I think what happens when we get older is that we get to a point where we don't understand 25% of what's going on.
Yeah.
And at that point, we give up, right?
Yeah.
And so the 100% comes like the next day because if you don't stay fucking on it, you lose it all.
Yeah. I feel like I'm that age now where I don't know enough now.
Yeah.
I'm like detached enough now that it's fine.
But I'm holding on by the skin of my nails. And I'm at maybe 98%. Okay. So I don't understand.
I'm struggling to keep
But
pace.
I'm going to keep those 2% for as long as I can.
The thing is, we keep hearing that we are an aging population. So there are more old people than there are young.
Good.
And yet, we've all just covertly agreed that culture
Reluctantly.
is somewhere in your early 20s.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about culture.
Popular culture, maybe.
Yeah, yogurt grows a culture. It doesn't necessarily mean it's...
Yeah, exactly. When I was mid-20s, I knew nothing.
Yeah.
And I don't know much now, but I know a hell of a lot more.
And maybe, like, if I was in my mid-20s as an idiot, which I was...
You were.
But I was beautiful.
That's the thing.
And TikTok had existed.
Yeah.
You know.
You would have loved it. You would have been shaking it.
It must be so weird to be beautiful.
It really must.
Like, to go through life just looking incredible.
Sounds like a lot of effort.
But all I'd be thinking is...
But what if it was effortless?
Well, this is...
That's very upsetting because I put a lot of effort into looking this average.
Yes!
So that's the problem.
I know!
That's the issue.
But all I'd be thinking is, I'll lose all this when I'm not pretty anymore.
Yeah.
No, but that's the words of a mediocre man.
I know. That's the words of a man who has resorted to self-analysis because he has nothing else.
If any of us had been born with genuine looks,
I know.
Like, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
We wouldn't even be thinking about the potential decline of our looks.
I'm not sure we'd all be hanging out, frankly.
I don't think we'd be making this podcast.
It'd just be so weird. It'd just be so interesting to be like conventionally gorgeous.
Because sometimes I come across a TikTok live.
Yeah.
And it's a gorgeous person, you know, male or female.
Sure.
Or anywhere in between. And I'll click on them and they have like 6,000 people viewing them and the comments are moving so fast that
the human eye can't.
Yeah, you can't track them.
Just pick up one, maybe.
And it's just like hot or a heart emoji or like it's just thirst. It's just an overflow of thirst. That's all it is.
But imagine that many people willing to waste their own time for you.
Yeah.
Isn't that incredible?
And then you can send gifts through TikTok Live.
Jesus Christ.
And they appear like a sort of fancier emoji. Like you can send a rose to a girl, for example. But you have to buy the rose. So you have to buy a stock of these sort of virtual gifts.
With real money.
Yes.
Okay.
And then when you send them, they receive the real money. So it's literally like giving money to people.
That's the greatest con in the history of the world.
100% it is.
That's incredible.
And so you'll see these pretty ladies who have just gone live. They're saying nothing. They're doing nothing. They're just sat on their bed, fully clothed. You know, nothing weird going on. Well, other than the obvious. And guys are just sending roses. She's making like 50 quid as I watch for like 40 seconds.
But that's mind-blowing that people would do that to me.
Yep.
I don't get that at all.
In many ways, it's the death of art.
Yeah.
It's the death of true.
I can't compute how someone would do that. It doesn't work. In my brain, I can't figure that out.
What are you possibly getting at?
Yeah. What do you hope to achieve?
I know, and I didn't want this episode to necessarily just be like, because we joke about it.
It's too late. It's too late.
We're getting old. We don't understand things, but I mean, like,
as it happens, we're all in a very similar mindset today.
Yeah, I just like
seem to be.
Because surely, like, this goes into like what we're talking about, like being an influencer. It's like it's the last refuge of like people with absolutely no talent.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're popular, but
how?
But what? Like, because of what? Like,
because sometimes I'll scroll across, I'll come across a live, and it'll be someone who they're not unattractive, but they're not like mind-blowingly attractive, and they clearly don't have all the gear because it's just like a messy bedroom in the background or whatever. So I'm like, okay, they must have been, but they've got like 2,000 people watching their live, right? So I'm like, well, they must be doing something then. So I go on their account, so you can click on their little face, and it takes you to all their TikToks they've put out.
What's the fuss about?
Yeah.
you want to find out.
They probably make.
Well, maybe that's why everyone's there.
Yeah, this is it. Like maybe they make animations. Maybe they make comic books. Here's me thinking purely from my own perspective here.
The things I understand.
The things,
I would think maybe they play football.
maybe they're a football artisan. And then I get to their TikToks and I view a few of those, and it's just the same vacuous garbage. And I'm like,
why?
Yeah.
Why?
Peculiar.
It's
Very
strange.
peculiar.
And
It's
this
very
is,
strange.
yeah, I guess this is how it begins.
Yeah.
This is really how
I think
it
it's
begins.
already begun.
Yeah.
Frankly, very depressing.
But I'm holding on. I'm going to stay down to mine.
Yeah.
There's probably a
the
whole
nuggets.
sub-niche of middle-aged TikToks.
Oh, there is.
Like, they're out there.
Yeah, millennial talk, as they refer to it.
Oh, really?
Brilliant.
Yeah.
That's what the kids say.
Kids don't like millennial talk. In fact, the Gen Zers, as they're known, they don't like the fact that us, people our age, are on TikTok because they think it's kind of theirs.
The elderly.
Yeah. And to be fair, they're right.
We
don't belong there.
It's kind of sad because I feel I really missed the boat on Vine. Like, I felt like Vine was...
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
That's why I'm jumping on TikTok, because I kind of don't want to miss it again.
Who owns TikTok?
China?
Oh,
yes.
China. Okay.
Someone in
Oh,
China.
and also,
It's a tech company.
also, let's be honest. It is a massive data harvesting
So
scam.
Google hasn't bought it yet. Is really
No.
what
Not
yet.
Yeah,
It used to be called... It was under a different name.
Musically,
yeah.
Ah,
Because it was all
I have
about
heard of that.
miming. It was all about miming. To...
Yeah, it's musical.ly.
But also,
Yeah.
this guy, he retro engineered the code of TikTok and was like,
Data-dived.
it steals so much data from your
Oh,
phone.
sure, yeah.
Like it just having the app on your phone, like it ravages your phone.
Oh yeah, like I'll talk about stuff like what we're talking about now.
It'll pop up later.
I'm going to see TikToks related
Oh,
to what
this
we
is
talked
being
about.
recorded right now.
Yeah.
It's being sent to Bezos, and I don't even know why
Yeah.
it goes to him, but he wants it, and
He gets this live. He's so lucky.
he
Bezos.
eats that data, and his muscles just get
These clowns listening to this won't get this until next Tuesday. Bezos is listening to it live.
He looks up from a broken corpse that he's holding in his big giant hands, with blood all around his mouth. He's like,
Oh, another episode of a show called Hype is being recorded.
Bezos is in orbit right now.
Yeah.
On his secret
Yeah.
space sex tower.
He just turns to his assistant. John's talking about influencers.
They're talking about me again.
Bring another millionaire for the sex pile.
And we never know what the sex pile is. But
No.
we know it sounds
Yeah.
grimy.
No, but it's why. But that's why we subscribe.
Oh, that's why we subscribe.
Because we care.
I
I want to find out eventually what the sex pile is.
See, I'm annoyed because I feel like I invented Facebook. Remember earlier we were talking about how we didn't get on the train at the time.
Yeah.
You think if I'd have just pursued that avenue, I'd be.
You found a code boy, a boy
Yeah,
that could code.
I had a site called Mr-Ray.tk,
Okay.
and it was like Facebook is now, but before the days of Facebook. And I just think to myself, yeah, that's annoying. I could have invented Facebook.
I mean, the name could have done with some work.
but
just
that could be
imagine-
a brand. What the fuck is Facebook?
Yeah, imagine an alternate universe, right? Where the household name that is Facebook now is now Chris Ray.
What are we?
Like,
Are we sitting here with Mark Zuckerberg recording?
Yeah, and it's like, oh, do you see that post on Chris Ray?
Yeah.
It's literally just your name.
I'm a verb or whatever. Yeah.
yeah.
Mr.
Oh, I Chris
Ray.
Rayed that last night.
Who was that band you hated because they released a song called "Goodbye, Mr. Ray"?
Oh, I can't remember.
Oh, is that
the
the
band.
Hoosiers?
Oh, that's it. The Hoosiers. Yeah.
Jesus,
That was a dive.
I didn't expect you to know that. But you
But
forget
it was
something.
Goodbye Mr. A, but it sounded not just the inflection. It sounded like
Yeah.
that. But there's like a there's Desert's Mystery, and it sounds like Mr. Ray.
Yeah, and
things like that.
my friend Kate used to be called Miss Doré
There you
by
go.
her kids because her maiden name is Doré.
Look
And
at
so
that.
they thought the song was about her, Miss Doré, Mr. Ray.
Ah, there
It
we
sounds
go.
like many, many different things.
You're
Very
famous.
generic name.
Tying it all full circle, Billy McFarland, the
Billy
Scammer.
con artist, I'm just going to say it,
Do it.
He's
He's listening.
who founded Fire Festival.
Oh yeah, I didn't know I knew that name.
His first scam or idea, like he dropped out of university because he had this like
adventure.
The
he,
documentary's on Netflix for those of you who are interested. It's very good.
he dropped out of
Fire.
university because he had this amazing idea for a social network
Yeah.
where people could share photos and interests, and they would receive targeted marketing
Wow.
based on the things they like.
Wow.
That's so cool.
And he was like,
That'll never take off.
This is going to change the game.
Yes.
And then apparently Google Plus came out like a week later. Remember
That
Google
never
Plus?
caught on, did it?
I do remember Google Plus. What a shame.
I vaguely remember
I
Google
signed
Plus.
up.
I think I had an account on Google
In
Plus.
the early days, though, you couldn't make an account. You had to be invited.
Oh.
And then after a while, it sort of opened up a bit.
And then they realised they didn't have enough people.
They realised this is a really bad idea.
That was a quaint time, wasn't
You
it?
had circles on Google Plus, which I quite like the idea of. So you could sort of put different people that you knew into different groups.
I don't think I ever looked at it properly.
So I could have like a group called Real Friends, for example, and neither of you would be in it.
Yeah.
And
Cohorts.
and then I could click on Real Friends, and I'd only see posts from them.
Oh, I see.
You see? Yeah. And then I could have like everyone, the ruffians, for example, and you guys would be there.
Oh,
And if I wanted
yeah.
to
I'll take
see,
it. I'll
I wanted
take
to
it.
see
We
your
do
bullshit.
refer to ourselves as the ruffians
Yeah.
quite a lot.
You
off
do.
air.
That is
Yeah.
our
You
bad,
do.
isn't it? Yeah.
Anyway, enough of this generic bullshit. What's your love?
Oh, my love is how I love being old. No. My love is, because we mentioned the stag, that is this weekend, my love is not having to plan my social life for a weekend.
Yeah,
That's been
it's all
pretty
taken
cool.
care of. You.
It's all taken care of. Because normally I sort of like to plan things and I say, hey, everyone, let's go to this thing. Or
You're
that.
quite often the organizer.
Yeah.
You'll be like, hey, let's do this weekend.
But
I'm like,
this,
yeah, right.
this
He
weekend
does
it's
make
been...
stuff happen.
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
And that's
He's a fixer.
cool. And I
A lot,
don't
yeah.
mind that role within the social spectrum. But this weekend, it's been nice just to think, oh, it's all taken care of. That's
Sort
been
of
great.
hand it off.
It's been a nice feeling.
Well, don't say that yet, because
It might be terrible.
it
but-
might be awful.
It might be.
You
No,
know.
I've got confidence in you, John. Based
England
on
might
this bag
lose.
of goodies that I'm
Don't
about to-
look at the
Look at the
bag.
bag.
John keeps telling me not to look at the bag.
Don't look at the bag.
But then
You
he
shouldn't have
then
left
he
the
sat
bag
me
there.
down next to the bag. So.
Yeah.
Well,
you
you
did.
chose to sit there. I thought you sit where Nick is sitting.
I know. This is my seat now.
Is it?
Yeah, the last few episodes I've sat here.
The last few episodes you have, but I think when we first started recording here, I did sit there.
That's
Yes,
correct.
and
yeah.
that's where my memory
John,
goes.
you're living in the
yeah.
past.
John is
You're living in the past.
Looks at your right. Look at the. You can look at those.
Look at the instant charcoal that's down there.
There you go. Got a sack of charcoal.
Next to the oven.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I remember I didn't have a stag, I had a hag do.
I
We had
recall,
a
yes.
combination, a stag and hen. And I remember loving the fact that I just was leaving this to fate.
Yeah.
Like, I trusted people to organise it, and they did. And they did a great job.
I know a couple of bits about it, but I've got faith that it will be a good weekend.
Oh, it's gonna be great.
With lots of good people.
The only reason you know as much as you do is because of COVID.
You had
Yeah,
to.
there was
Yeah.
logistics to work out.
Yeah, we were trying to be, safe and responsible and whatnot.
And then we'll get there and that'll go out the window.
It is all on you, though, John.
Yeah, so no pressure
not
though.
gonna lie.
No. I
You'll ruin my life if it's no good.
I really liked on my stag how we were staying in a place that was basically in the middle of nowhere. And people joke about the middle of nowhere,
I like that.
but it was
cool.
It was basically the middle of nowhere. Yeah.
Well,
Then we could
the
be
only
as
thing that
loud
was
as we want.
near us was a distillery for a whiskey
Which we went
company.
to.
Which was
Which
like
we went to.
a fair walk away,
about-
wasn't
yeah.
It was. And we
Half
drank
hour
that,
walk.
like, 95% proof, like, transparent
Yeah.
whiskey
I was-
runoff.
Yeah.
Pissed
made
up
me
by the time we left.
Blind.
They scraped it off the floor and put it in a bucket. Yeah.
Literally, I poured it into my mouth and it evaporated before it could touch my tongue. But it filled my mouth with the vapor of alcohol and the
Yeah.
concept of broken
They just
time.
said it's like a pinhead of it, effectively.
Yeah.
But you felt it.
Oh,
my
you
life,
you felt it.
Oh yeah, no, it was
was
good.
like-
yeah.
I could see through like dimensions and things like that
Yeah.
after that.
I saw alternate versions of myself and they were all hotter than me and it sucked.
But that was good. That distillery was good. I would go back to that distillery.
It was great. Yeah.
What, you sipped the moonshine and you saw like 15 alternate Nicks, all beautiful, all filming TikToks.
All on
of
TikTok.
you.
Yeah.
I called it the
All going.
Infinity
All
Mirror.
going. Oh yeah, I'm 5'8". Yeah.
Yeah, no, natural brown hair.
Natural brown.
Now like 3 times daily. No, full evacuation. It's fine.
Imagine that next live. That's the question I'm going to ask. What's your regularity like?
Yeah. A pint of yogurt. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll do it for you. That'll sort you out.
Talking about stags.
Oh yeah.
I think my favourite memory from a stag was
Here we,
when
I know what you're going to say now.
Well,
Do I? Or are you going to talk about something else? Go on.
No, when the guy who was, because we went to a distillery, which is great, and we had like
Yeah.
a whole tasting session, which
Yeah.
is wonderful. He's
wonderful.
Can't remember the guy's name. He was a bit of a legend.
His name was Ray.
Ray.
That's right.
He was a legend. He was lovely.
He was.
And I do like how he brought out an £800 bottle of whiskey,
Yeah.
and let me taste it, and then got into trouble with his bosses.
Really?
Did he? I didn't know. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they were like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Really?
What are you doing?
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah, that's well good.
Bless him. He was
Did
good,
it
actually,
taste
wasn't he?
£800 worth?
No.
Okay.
No, and that's a
Did you had a bit though. You had a bit of it.
Well, yeah, I did,
Yeah.
yeah. But like, as a side point, though,
like 20 quid
if you'd handed it to me and said, have a whiskey, I'd go, oh, thanks.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought,
Oh my god.
good God.
This is
Yeah,
the
yeah.
greatest.
That's an
incredible.
£800 bottle of whiskey.
Ambrosia.
Yeah.
But I have had whiskies where you can taste the difference sometimes. Very rarely.
I come out and say I don't like whiskey.
No.
Well,
So when it was announced that we were going to a whiskey distillery, I was like, oh, okay.
great.
Yeah,
great.
But I did enjoy myself.
There were gins.
There were gins.
There were gins as well.
And I believe I had some gins. But
They gave us free samples, didn't they? Until we were pissed enough that we bought stuff.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I'll have some free samples. And
God,
then we
it
just
worked.
went and raided the shop. Oh, I want some more.
That's how they get you, though, because
Yeah.
we go like, God, they're very generous to be giving us whiskey, and gin, and then they're literally just like, I don't know, mopping it off the walls because
Yeah.
it's just, evaporating.
Oh no, we're sold out.
I talk about how I don't like people to be so weak-willed, but all it took was 2 free samples of whiskey and I bought out the shop in that place.
And the 95% proof dragon's
Yeah.
breath that we inhaled.
You got me a bottle for the big day.
We did.
That was very.
That was a joint gift from the best men.
That was very, very much appreciated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we came away with little glasses as well, didn't we?
I still got that, yeah. We got little tasting glasses. I've still got a couple of the whiskey. I bought 3 or well, maybe 6 minutes.
I think I've still got one. Yeah.
I've still got a couple of them.
See, now you're making me think.
I think you probably have got that somewhere. Yeah,
Yeah, it'll be hidden
It's in a
away
little black
in a
box.
cupboard.
I hope I've got it somewhere.
You better do.
I've got mine.
So is that your love? Is that the?
Yeah, I can't remember what it was.
But you don't have to organise
Oh
it.
yeah, I don't have to organise it. Well, I'll report back next time. On,
Yeah, you
on
could be
how good-
horrendously disappointed.
Yeah,
for all we
yeah.
know.
I don't think I will be, but
We'll see.
Okay, I've got love.
oh,
Yeah.
I love the phrase or word envirocrime.
oh my goodness.
Okay, right. Because a few weeks back, I was walking into town,
Oh yeah.
and oddly enough, this was on the same road where an elderly man called me a silly boy.
Ah, yes.
Because I was
That infamous story.
cycling with my hands off the handlebars.
Yeah.
And
You're
there
a
was
silly boy.
a car parked on a curb, which is not unusual.
Sure.
That's fine. I didn't think there was anything out of the ordinary. However, it had a sticker slapped on the windshield,
Sure.
shall we
Yes.
say.
Let's call it that.
And it was like, from the council. And I thought, oh, maybe that car has been illegally parked.
Or abandoned.
But it had, yes, indeed, and it had a collection of stickers as if it had been there a while. And eventually, like, the most severe and final sticker was a bigger one, and it said, like, this vehicle will be removed
Oh, my
shortly.
goodness.
And it basically said, like, this car has been found guilty, I'm paraphrasing,
It's had its day in court. This car.
of committing an enviro crime.
Oh my goodness.
We're living in the future.
Like literally,
It's happened.
Literally, it was there. It's enviro crime in big like orange and black on the windshield.
Yeah.
Enviro crime.
I don't like it when
Enviro-crime.
words are merged.
Did you look it up?
No, but it's still on my to-do list. I might do it after we record. Yeah. Put that phone away.
It's a
Put that
crime against the environment.
Put that phone away.
Oh, sorry, I was
Let's
just looking at my
speculate
notes.
on the meaning of envirocrime.
Enviro crime.
I do like the terminology, not because it means anything, but more because it evokes a sense of we're living in the future and that you can commit envirocrime.
Enviro crime.
And, that
yeah.
and then a robot will be dispatched from the nearby police station and you will be arrested for
But
envirocrime.
it is 2 words, though, isn't it? It's an environmental crime.
They could have just called it an
They could have
environmental
just called it
crime.
environmental crime.
And also, does it need its own term? Could it not
Indeed.
just be a crime?
Well, you could just say it's an abandoned car.
yeah, that
Which
would be
I-
fine.
Is it, I would argue that it's less environmentally intrusive because it's not moving
That is
or expelling
Ooh,
harmful gases.
Fuck,
Yes, that's very.
that's amazing.
There you
Yeah,
go. How about that?
contemporary.
Take that,
Yeah.
council.
But also,
Suck on that,
I guess it's kind
cool
of
Shire
like.
council.
Yeah.
Yeah, at what point did I mean? I'm fairly certain as a culture we have a language and a way of processing abandoned cars.
Yeah.
like I'm fairly certain we're pretty good at that.
That's something we've talked about as a culture before, I feel.
But like, at what point did it
How
become?
long was it there?
Well,
How long did you see it there for?
I want to say I saw it 2 or 3 times.
Okay.
But it's got a lot of stickers on it.
I do feel it was there a while. But an enviro crime.
Yeah.
I mean,
Unless there was like toxic waste in it.
that's true. It might be made of uranium.
Yeah. Like,
I mean,
was
that
it
is
glowing
true.
at all?
Yeah, was it nighttime glowing?
No, but I felt very tired, and I started
Yeah.
like kind of bleeding from my mouth when I was
Okay,
near it.
that's fine.
Yeah, but that's kind of normal for a Wednesday for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very hard to tell anymore.
Yeah,
you know.
Because you're old.
It's because you had so much yogurt. I'd imagine.
It comes out one way or the other. It's either out your ass.
It's got to. It's
or
got to
blood
come
out
out
your
one way or
mouth.
the other.
It's got to.
Can't stay in. It can't stay in there.
I've had some
For the love of God.
I've had some low points in my life, but I've never eaten yogurt to the point where my mouth started bleeding.
I once
yeah.
I worked at a sweet shop. I don't know if I've told this story when I was younger.
It's a real story.
It's a real story. I worked at a sweet shop, and we had these sweets that were like super sour. They were famously sour.
Make your like mouth go inside.
Yeah, and they were like these balls that were about the size of marbles.
Sure.
And they were coated in this white, crusty crystal
Oh, no.
Sure.
that looked like you'd grown rock salt.
These might not have been sweets.
Yeah, I'm not sure they were.
Yeah.
I think they were harvested out of a crashed spaceship or something. And they came from a jar that had no labels on it, which we had a lot of in the back.
Oh no.
Wait, did in your time there, did the school ever purchase these?
I never
Or
saw them
they're
purchased.
just always there.
I think they were just. And whenever I took a jar and then went back, it looked like one hadn't been taken, which was weird.
That's weird, isn't
It is
it?
weird,
Yeah, it's
but I
weird,
just chalk
yeah.
that up to weird, you know.
Yeah, sure.
And then we'd like serve them into these little like transparent plastic bags. We'd have them on the counter, and kids loved them. They
bet.
loved sour sweets, and they would challenge themselves how many they could put in their mouth
Brilliant.
at once. We had a mum come in with her kid, and she was like, "I want to complain about these sweets because
Oh, no.
because my child's mouth is bleeding from them." And he stuck his tongue out, and he had these big white ulcers
God.
on his tongue.
How many did he have? What?
I think he had a lot
Yeah.
at once. But yeah, I was a bit like, ooh, manager. Yep.
And eventually, those sweets had envirocrime stuck on them.
So yeah, really, I think they are.
I
an
remember Lucy and I, we watched a series on YouTube where somebody would like recreate popular candy and sweets and stuff.
Candy.
And it turns out there's one particular chemical which is like sour.
Okay.
You know, like so when you get like a sour sweet, it's got like one part in a million
Of
kind
this stuff.
Yeah, and it turns out you can buy industrial buckets of just like pure sour. And I remember them like coating these little sweets they were making and giving it to a child to eat.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was like, ugh,
Yeah.
you know, like
I had a few of these sweets, and they were great.
I'm sure they are.
They
yeah.
were power. I like sour sweets.
I like the sour sweet
Yeah,
as well.
sure.
Yeah.
And I often pursue them. If I'm going to buy a sweet or a candy of some kind, I will go for a sour one, and nothing has ever come close to
Nothing's broken you out in ulcers.
that. No, I mean,
Sometimes the
I didn't
claims
get
will
ulcers.
be false.
It was the unlabeled jar that did sort of worry me a dash. if I'm
Yeah,
honest.
because
Yeah, that would concern me.
I'm
to
kind
be
of
honest.
picturing some kind of like Victorian,
Glass.
like I don't know what the word would be, but like those shops where you get everything from like fishing tackle to like contraceptives or something,
Yeah.
and
Cigars.
yes, indeed, everything's in a glass cylinder, you
Yeah.
know, regardless of the product they're selling.
Oh, our shop was nowhere near that classy.
Okay,
No.
yeah.
It was just sweets, but it was like walls completely covered in shelves that just had jars.
Did
It
they?
was like a massive pick and mix place.
Did they ever give you any safety training regarding
The sours.
the
Do not
sours,
eat
yeah?
any more than 3 in a month.
Do not touch them. You know.
Yeah.
They did actually recommend that you shouldn't eat more than a certain quantity per day.
I bet. Yeah, I bet.
I can't remember what it was.
loads
It was like
then.
2 or 3 a day. You should
Really?
Yeah.
I
and,
bet
this,
he must have had like a bag of them.
and on interrogation of this child, he had basically put the whole bag in his
There you
mouth
go,
at
there you
once.
go.
And it's-
And you know he'd like licked.
oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It just like tipped the residue into his gob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when you're eating sour sweets, like the actual gummy bit, that's just a
Well, the
vector.
sour wears off almost instantly.
Yeah.
But it's like a hit to the face. And then you're just left with a mediocre sweet after that. I'll
Yeah.
just chew this then.
Because I can't handle heat. So
Spicy, curry.
yeah, if it's
What, in a sweet or generally?
no, just in general, if it's like capsaicin, the Bernie
the
chemical,
pepper stuff.
yeah,
Sure.
can't handle that at all. Sour, I reckon I'd do all right. You know. Even if it does feel a bit like being punched in the face after a while, I like a sour sweet.
Yeah, I like a
Oh
sour
yeah, I
sweet.
love a sour sweet.
Back in the day when I used to go to swimming club when I was a child, and I used to go
When I
to
used to go to swimming.
well, Chris Ray will know.
Here we go.
Our secondary school also had a leisure centre
Leisure, yeah.
where every surface
Believe
was
it's pronounced
covered in like
leisure.
wood panelling.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I do.
And you go in and there'd be a lot of photos of athletes from the 1970s
sure.
performing.
Nice.
And they had a swimming pool, which was great. And as a child, before I went to secondary school, we used to go there for swimming lessons.
Yeah.
I think it was like on an evening in the week. And the best part was coming out after swimming, getting a 20p mix
Yeah.
of sweets. A 20 pence bag.
But you get
20
you
pence
get
gets you fuck all now.
Yeah, exactly. You get 20 sweets for that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's amazing.
indeed. And I still think that's too expensive when you think about it for
Well,
what you were getting.
you think about you think about what they are, but you think about what they charge now.
And also, you
least
know,
double that.
the lady behind the counter would divvy out it's not like you could pick. You know,
Oh.
it's a mix.
So
you know,
she just spoon out 20.
you get a bag. There you go, 20.
Yeah.
So if you get like a prawn, like a kind of chewy prawn, waste of time.
Yeah, foamy prawns.
You
Rubbish.
you get a red and green apple sour.
Oh, those are good. Oh, yes.
Those
yeah.
are the days.
Living the dream.
Yeah.
At that point.
Like fizzy cola bottles or fizzy cherries.
Oh, fizzy cola bottle.
Don't like cherries.
You give me a fizzy cola bottle right now, I'd eat it.
I would-
and
I would.
enjoy it.
Eat the living shit
Yeah,
out
big
of
And
it.
I feel very grateful at the end.
I
I like
Yeah.
I like the rhubarb and custard sweets.
Oh,
yeah,
they were hard, weren't
They were hard.
Yeah.
Hard boiled. I like them though. Tough. You gotta work on them for a while.
You had to be a man.
Prawns were very disappointing, I have to say.
Well, they just
Foamy.
tasted. Yeah, they just literally tasted like foam.
I did like a fried egg though.
Yeah.
I like those.
If I had a bag of fried eggs in front of me right now, I'd eat them, and I would enjoy them.
Sure.
But like, that's barely food.
Oh, of course.
Well, like it's just a shape.
But when they're in a
we're not in
accompaniment
this
to eggs, at one point there was like a bacon sweet or something.
I think there might have been, yeah.
It didn't necessarily taste like bacon, but it looked like bacon.
There's a whole range of gummy meals.
Yeah.
You can get a gummy
There's
pizza.
there's
and
burgers. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's burgers. Haribo do those.
I vividly remember we went on a trip down to Canterbury.
Oh.
Oh, back to
It
Canterbury.
might,
And a different trip.
it might even have been the same trip.
Yeah.
And in the day,
We have been there more than once though.
because we travelled down, 70% of our crew abandoned us because there was a football game on.
Another reason to hate football.
Which people? Was I one of those
You
people?
may have been one of those people, yeah. And I ended up
Traitor.
in a seaside town. I think it may have been Margate, and we went to an arcade,
Ah, yeah.
and I played a few games and won 250,000 tokens,
Nice.
which won me a single gummy hamburger.
No, I remember the time. This is when you had something exhibited.
No, that was a different
Oh,
time.
okay, forget it then.
Yeah.
All of your video game training, and you got one gummy hamburger.
Well, to be fair, I did win. I think it was 375,000 tokens.
I mean, well done.
and it was a
That
lot.
seems like a waste of paper comparative to what you actually received.
I'm not. I just feel the exchange rate on a seaside arcade.
Yeah.
It's poor,
not-
isn't it?
It's not great.
It's not.
It's not great.
I think we should have words with you. Take it to question time with the government. I think we should sort this out.
We won
One token for one sweet.
As a- as
At
a-
least the new campaign.
as a team. We won a sweet, like as in a gelatin and sugar hamburger.
Yeah.
With a diameter of like a 10 pence piece.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that was like all our day's efforts got us that.
And that was a group of you.
And that was a group of us.
Yeah,
Yeah. It
that's
was,
a real- that's a real
disappointing. You had
shame.
to cut that up into 4.
well, we definitely. I feel we cut it. I feel we did somehow.
Well, I've got a love.
Oh.
Just to round this off, and considering you're talking about food, well, food adjacent. I'm happy to announce
Oh.
the Domino's Pizza have brought the Double Decadence back.
Oh, what is that?
That is where
I'm happy to announce.
it's a crust you can choose for your pizza.
Oh,
Right.
hello.
And
Okay.
it's, imagine a very thin pizza crust. Now imagine another one below it, right? And then imagine
That's madness. It can't be done.
it's crazy already.
It can't be done. Yeah.
So already, right, 2 crusts underneath
Yeah.
your toppings,
That
and
seems
then,
like too much bread.
and then
arguably.
between those crusts,
Oh.
there's a cheesy and herby layer.
Wait. Okay. So what? They make one pizza.
Sure.
They basically putting one pizza on top of another pizza.
Except that the lower pizza doesn't have any other toppings except for cheesy herbs.
Sure.
Okay.
Basically, yeah.
Okay. So they've got
So thin base,
yeah.
cheesy herby layer,
Okay.
thin base,
Okay.
your toppings.
Okay.
But isn't one of your toppings cheeses and herbs?
Yeah, it is. Often.
Are you?
It's like a stuffed crust, but everywhere.
Are you the kind of person which would get the sausage crust?
Filled
Well, I was
crust.
about to say that I missed the hot dog crust.
The hot dog crust was
Jesus Christ.
a alchemical piece of genius. Because
Yeah.
how do you make a long hoop shaped sausage?
Yeah.
Well, there's a seam somewhere.
But do you do you build the pizza around the hoop? Or do you insert the sausage into a finished pizza with a tunnel around the... How'd you do it?
Yeah. Nobody knows it's witchcraft.
Nobody knows, John.
I think
I missed that.
I
They
miss
don't
it
do
too.
it anymore.
if
They
I
don't.
did- if
They
I
didn't do the double decker inside of it, it's back.
Yeah.
if I had to put my money on the table,
on.
I'd say they would roll a disc of the dough,
Sure.
and then they would reach into their industrial-sized kind of vat or whatever, and they would bring out a long sausage,
Yeah. Nice.
which was coated in dough, like a sausage
Oh, I
roll,
see.
and they would like join the ends together
Like a hoop. And
like
then
a
they just
hoop and
drop
drop
that
it,
down.
and I think that's how they make it.
That's very clever, but it's unlikely to be true because it's truly probably black magic.
But then why is it not cooked? Because it's a hot dog, but it's not cooked as such.
Yeah, but it is cooked though.
But it's
think about what
pre-cooked.
you're saying.
I mean,
It's pre-cooked.
Yeah, sausages are though.
This guy.
Sausages are though.
I mean, a frankfurter is food adjacent.
Well, it's barely meat.
Mechanically recovered meat. I
Yeah,
believe
it's
referred to
barely
as.
meat at that point.
No,
Yeah.
it is very much
Any
processed.
sausage you've probably eaten at one of these establishments
Is in
has
there.
been cooked 3 times.
Yeah.
Because it's sent to the venue already cooked,
Mm.
and then they cook it again.
Yeah.
Because it can't get any worse.
You just order
you
it
know.
in lengths.
Yeah. Yeah.
They should put that on the menu. 'Cause, like triple cooked chips are like a big thing, aren't they?
Yeah.
Apparently
cooked
so,
sausage.
yeah. I want a chip that will shatter in my mouth.
Yeah.
And that's only going to
nice,
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you bite it, it's like biting into a bottle of beer.
Were you,
Ill.
Nicholas, I imagine you're the kind of man who would get a stuffed cheese crust back in the day.
100%. Love a
Yeah.
stuffed crust. Love the sausage stuffed
Yeah,
crust.
I
that was
thinking
very,
about
when
it
they
now.
announced
My mouth's
that.
just filled with saliva.
Yeah. But this is stuffed crust taken to another level.
Well,
No, it is.
I'm not. I to be honest, I'm not completely on board with this at the moment.
Well, you need
I'm
to try
not
it.
saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that this feels like a step in the arms race of kind of pizza abuse
Yeah.
that I don't like where this is going.
It's a slippery slope. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Where are our civil liberties going to end up?
Yeah.
If we allow this sort of thing,
I would rather have a flat hot dog as a double decadence. I think.
Well, so
That'd be
instead
fun.
of a pizza base, you just have a large sausage.
Well,
you have bread, thin layer of sausage.
Okay, yeah.
Bread.
Yes.
Your toppings.
No, I'm on board with that.
Let's talk about it. What if your pizza base was a kind of like cocktail sausage roll?
Yeah.
Smeared very flat.
Well, think about it. Like the first step made in the technology of stuffed crust was cheese, and then they were like,
Yes.
"Hey, let's stuff a frankfurter into that."
Sure.
Then
It's the natural step, isn't it? Yeah.
Then the third step was let's layer entirely underneath cheese.
Yeah.
So the natural fourth
But then
step.
you already have a layer
It's
of
got
cheese.
to be meat though.
The next step has to be meat, and so you're going to get what you want.
But
Yeah.
surely
That's gonna be great.
The real question behind the scenes is what delightful and delicious food substance has no form or kind of lattice, and thus can we smear into a geometric shape? So cheese and processed sausage meat. That can be a tube.
Very convenient.
It could be a ring.
Yeah.
It can
Very
be
versatile
It can be a
process.
flat disc.
The thing is, this sort of
know.
thinking, John, is what the R&D department of Domino's are 100% committed to.
I do feel though, this is like they're flying too close to the sun.
Maybe.
I do feel like
But it is an arms race.
where do you go from here?
They have to stay ahead of Big Papa. They have to stay
Yeah.
ahead of John
Papa,
because
Papa is coming for him.
he's
Yeah.
he's coming. He'll develop something. He'll develop something incredible. It'll be the asparagus-filled
I
crust.
remember when Papa was the plucky up and comer,
Yeah, he was the.
and now look at him.
he's nothing.
Yeah.
Wait, I forget. Is Papa John's the ones who's like racist and homophobic? I forget.
Oh, I don't know.
Probably. They all probably are.
yeah,
That's Chick-fil-A, isn't it?
very much so. Yeah. But surely the danger in kind of this pizza arms race is you can add, but the moment you come even close to being a calzone, It's game over.
You're a joke. You're a laughing
Yeah,
stock.
you can't start with that.
Because
Listen to me. This is a problem for future generations.
Okay.
Let's just live in the moment.
Okay.
Let's just take the double decadence and chow down, and then coil off for about a week.
Surely, the way this ends is some kind of like stacked pizza.
Ooh.
Surely that's already a thing.
I bet it is.
Somewhere.
So you actually have. You choose 2 sets of toppings.
2 sets of
You
toppings.
choose the internal topping layer.
And they cost more than 2 separate pizzas.
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
I would expect to pay more than that. There's architecture involved now. There's infrastructure.
Artistry, some
It's
might
artistry,
say.
yeah. There's structural support to think about. There's planning permission.
Oh,
Probably.
you got to back it up, yeah.
Forgive me, it does seem like they've just put a pizza on top of another pizza.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it look... Have you ordered this?
Yeah, I had it today.
Oh, great, okay. Does it look...
Just before I came here.
Does it look like a pizza on top of a pizza?
No, it doesn't.
No, interesting.
It
yeah.
looks. It does look weird though. It doesn't look like a normal pizza. Like the center where all your toppings are and everything looks exactly the same. When you reach the crust, the edge it all looks very strange. And then when you lift a slice, there's it sort of veneers away. Like layers of plywood.
So, presumably, though, the top pizza
Yes, the uppermost.
also has cheese on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So,
Be rude not to have.
What's the benefit from having cheese underneath?
I'd say the
as
benefit,
well?
John, is more cheese.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is
but it's
there-
also
is
a
it all
sort
joined
of.
up like the crust? Is it all spewing out the side? This underlayer or not?
No, it's very well contained.
Okay.
It's very professional.
Right, sure.
I'd say. Yeah.
Thanks, Domino's.
They've really done their research on this one, I've got to say.
I'm really struggling to think what's the innovation that's going to take this to the next level,
Hmm.
because we've talked about ring crust technology,
Yeah.
and we've filled that, we've got a cavity,
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
and we've packed it tight with cheese, we've packed
meat.
it tight with sausage meat. What's next?
Deep fry it.
Well, there were burger crusts, weren't there, at one point?
What?
Where they were like little hamburgers in the crust.
Oh, that's right, little blobs.
I never had
do
them.
remember. I've never had them.
Never had that. That just seems like too much.
That seems like a joke. Is this real?
That was real, yeah.
I'd eat the living shit out of that.
Well, yeah, but
I'd have it.
Like-
I'd eat it now.
They were like little sliders almost, I suppose, bite size.
I'm not sure you can go too far.
no, there are many things that burger meat is. and I
Eventually,
don't
it's just
think-
going to be a full steak on every crust.
Yeah. Now, I see a steak is one thing. Burger meat, chopped up, stuffed in a crust. I don't think that's food.
But it's not. It's like a full burger. It's like a full rounded little burger just implanted into the crust.
Imagine
But that's
loads of little
not-
burgers in a ring.
But that's not part of the crust. That's just like...
Well, they bastardized the crust almost.
It's modged in.
Yeah.
I see. What if you had a kind of the cavity
In the crust.
going through the crust that would have normally been filled with cheese or sausage meat? What if it was filled with boiling hot garlic butter?
Oh,
Have we
They
talked
certainly
about
have
that?
done tomato.
they have
sauce.
done tomato sauce filled. Like,
Well, I don't
almost
really-
like bolognese sauce.
You're
kind of.
taking this a lot further than I thought they
I don't
had.
really care for that. Tomato sauce.
No, it gets very hot.
Bolognese. Have you ever had a white sauce pizza?
No.
What, like lasagna sauce kind of stuff?
Yeah.
That sounds quite
I've had
nice.
it once at a kind of like proper Italian pizza establishment.
Ooh.
It's very nice.
Get you.
Yeah, it does sound nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, Domino's.
I don't like tomato particularly.
No.
I like it fine, but
I like a tomato.
I wouldn't have it on,
I like a tomato.
generally.
tomato.
Whenever anyone comes to me and says, I don't like a tomato, I'm like, what's your problem?
I don't like the texture of a tomato. I don't mind tomato sauce
Like
bolognese.
puree sort of.
I like
that's fine.
a passata. I like a
Yeah,
passata.
everyone likes
Ooh,
it.
But I find a tomato too fleshy.
Interesting.
There you go. How about that?
I love a tomato.
Yeah, okay.
Got a
I'll
lot
have
of
it fresh. I'll have it cooked.
I have a lot of time for a tomato.
Yeah.
There we are.
So when you have like a full English breakfast,
Yeah.
you
You
know,
wouldn't take a cooked tomato.
Oh no, definitely not.
wouldn't take a cooked tomato. You leave it out to the side. A grilled tomato.
I would ask for it to be replaced with something else.
I see.
You would ask for it to be removed.
Yes, please don't give me the tomato.
How dare you.
Or I will throw it in your face.
What would you replace it
burn.
with?
I don't know. What am I allowed?
Well,
You can have mushrooms. You can
whole
have beef.
No, I hate mushrooms.
Oh,
I would
God.
rather have more tomato than mushrooms.
Really?
what
I
would you
hate
replace?
mushrooms.
Okay, so the mushrooms have been replaced with tomato.
No,
so you've
I
got
don't
two
want that
portions of tomato now. What have they been replaced with?
Well, let's say a hash brown.
That's too much hash brown.
No,
You've already got two hash browns.
You've already comes with two
How
hash
much
brown.
bacon do I have?
2 rashers.
You have two rashers of bacon.
I'll have
That's standard.
another one then.
Okay, that's going to be an additional charge, sir. Of
No,
£1.60.
but you can have my tomatoes and mushrooms.
Yeah, that's not going to cut
The
it.
meat is not covered. Like in
All right,
in
well,
replacement
You can have as much
process,
additional
yeah.
tomato and mushrooms as you want, sir. But if you want additional bacon, that's £1.60 per ration.
Well, I'll just have the hash brown then.
That's too much hash brown.
No, I disagree.
You've got like 30% of your plate is hash brown
At
now.
this point.
Good, not enough.
You also have 2 slices
I don't
of
like
bread.
hash browns that much, actually.
What do you like in a fried
No,
breakfast?
but I'm really... You've had breakfast with me. I'm really difficult.
So you want sausage, bacon, egg,
No mushrooms.
No
No
mushrooms.
no tomato.
Black pudding I like.
Yeah, black pudding.
Yeah, I got a lot of time for black pudding.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
We're
like
talking
black pudding.
protein, basically.
Yeah, lots of protein.
Love a bit of protein.
Fried bread,
Yeah,
fried
sure.
slice on the
Sure,
side.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like scrambled eggs.
What about beans?
Yeah, I'll have some beans.
Yeah, I like some
I'll
beans.
have some beans.
Yeah,
So scrambled is your preferred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over fried.
I don't like fried eggs.
Oh, what? But wait, this has come up. This has come up. If it looks like an egg, he's not happy.
That's true.
Yeah,
You're not a big egg
if I'm
guy.
going to have egg, it has to be scrambled or an omelette.
Okay,
I don't want it all separate. It's just being a dick for the sake of it.
right.
Oh, it's rubbery. Now it's gloopy.
But
So you just want pork and beans, really?
Pork, beans, and carbs.
Now you see, we're getting into the kind of pork sandwich territory, and Nick's got a thing or two to say about pork sandwiches.
They're great.
Yeah.
Loves them. Can't
you
get
go.
enough. This
Can't get
guy.
enough.
Lovely pork sandwich.
Pork is the best meat.
At the
gonna say
pub
it.
last night where I watched England v Germany, as I mentioned earlier, I had a roast beef baguette. It was great.
My
Sounds
God.
good.
And on the menu it said smothered in gravy.
Was it smothered?
It actually was.
Oh.
Not
So-
the sandwich, the meat, not the sandwich.
I was going to say, so then as a sandwich, it would be unusable.
Yeah,
if
exactly.
It
It
was
would have been a
smothered
nice.
in
you don't
something.
want
but it was
sandwich.
just the meat. It was lovely. It was great.
That sounds great. Yeah.
I had in Toronto.
Toronto.
Oh, you've been to Canada?
I've been to Canada. Yeah, it's funny that. I had a beef sandwich which came with a beef dip.
Wait, I'm not. What?
So
I feel like
liquid
I've
beef.
heard of that on like Man vs. Food.
get like
or
a
something.
sliced beef sandwich. Delightful.
Delightful.
Yeah.
Very good.
No questions
If
there.
it's one thing that the Americas and Canada do very well, it's sliced meat.
Oh, it is.
And it came
Congratulations.
and it came with a bowl of a kind of clear,
Yeah.
beefy broth.
Yeah, lovely.
Okay.
And you would
Dip your sandwich in
dunk
that.
the sandwich in. My God. It was incredible.
I had a friend at uni who introduced me, unwillingly I should add, to the concept of potted meat.
You see, that sounds a lot like they held you down
Yeah.
and forced it
Yeah,
into
that
your
sounds a
mouth.
lot like they just made you eat spam.
She really wanted me to like it, and I didn't want to eat it because
No.
it was meat that came out of a jar that you could spread with a knife.
Oh,
Indeed.
no. Oh, no.
So, are we talking pate?
Kind of, but pate at least comes in a fancy foil package that you can cut into slices, wouldn't you say?
Normally. Yes. Yeah.
It doesn't come out of a jar.
No. Is it the jarring? Which
Are we
is...
talking like a savoury Nutella?
Yeah,
Almost.
We are like in a jam jar. That's not right, is it?
Yeah.
No.
I think that's an enviro crime.
You see, I feel like because I'm a I like the finer things in life.
You
clearly.
do. Of the three of us, I'd say you're the fancy one.
So if I had some pate on a cracker,
You love
I'd feel
pate.
fine.
I don't like pate.
But if you
I
smear
don't.
if you smear some pate on a piece of toast, I'm like, good morning. Here's your pink slime.
Your pink jam.
It's for
Eat your
bad.
pink jam.
It's for bad jam.
Here's a stinky jam.
Jam is kind of pink already. Why is this worse? I wouldn't be okay with it.
No.
No.
I think I don't like pate from a conceptual standpoint. I don't like the idea.
And I know what's gone into your bodies, so that's weird to me.
Pate's been overworked.
I mean, pate, I would argue, here we go,
Okay, here we go.
is just as bad from a processed perspective as the shit I put into my body.
Well,
It's
yes.
just it gets a fancy label. Oh, pate.
Yeah.
We're posh barons.
If it was
We eat
called
pate.
just like pate,
It's fucking liquidized.
just take the accent off the E.
Yeah, it's called
this is-
pate.
Pate.
This
Here,
is-
have some of this pate down here.
This is weird for me though, because if you strip away all the skin, intestinal lining, most
delicious.
of the things you eat are just kind of sausage meat,
Yeah, oh yeah.
which is a grey paste.
Well,
Ultimately, it's
I would argue. I would
Well-
argue. No, I would argue the line before paste.
you catch them on the cusp, so it's kind of like a pinky grey.
Maybe it starts life as a paste.
Okay,
But
yeah.
by the time it's cooked, there's a bite to it.
Okay, there's a crunch.
There's a
to it.
crunch,
yeah.
So we're
yeah.
talking a kind of patty, like a kind
Yeah,
of.
I just
pate.
feel like when it's pate or potted meat or whatever it is,
Yeah.
the work that has gone on by human hand is more apparent because of the processing. There had to be some liquidization there. There had to be some machinery involved.
The
Whereas
real-
at least with a sausage roll, I can believe that you hacked a bit of a pig off and put it in pastry. I can believe that.
The real question is how much hoof has gone into it, and
But that's okay. I've eaten sausages throughout my life, as I know Nick has.
and look
I
at you
have.
now. Look at you now.
I'm just
I'm
look at me
I'm
now.
alive.
You are.
And how?
And how?
And look at you.
So if there's hoof in it, it tastes good.
Hoof just adds to it.
That's just thickener, you know. The thing is, like, you know, if you get... So we're talking like sausage meat, it's a grey paste.
Sure.
Pate, it's like a pink
A
paste.
ready pinky paste.
Yeah, so we're all just paste, you know.
But at the end of the day, everything is paste, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's something we can take away from this episode.
Sure.
And that's something we can all learn from. Anyway, this has been a weird-ass episode, hasn't it? What, gentlemen, do we think won? Hate or love?
Oh, there's the options.
Those are the options,
only
yeah.
options.
A controversial, situation, but here we are.
I think love.
Interesting.
Well, I think we all had fairly similar hates, and we were all on the same page.
It was just that
I'd
we're
say
old.
hate.
We're just old.
We're just old. And I think that's good enough
Oh
reason.
my god, I'm never in this position of power.
It's usually Chris Ray, and he usually lets us down.
You know what? I'm choosing to be positive. I'm gonna say I'm
fuck.
gonna say that love won.
Jesus Christ.
Because I feel if we just say that like being old is enough for hate to win, we might as well just retire now.
Yeah.
Because
What's the point in me going down
Well,
the
a
TikTok
lot of the
line?
listeners are saying that.
Right, well, yeah, they are. They're calling for our retirement, and they have good reason for it.
our iTunes reviews agree. Probably time to
We
call it a day.
demand retirement. But no, look, I'm going down the TikTok mines for you both.
I know,
Every day.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
If we're just going to admit that we're old at this point, then there's no point in me going down there.
No,
So let's live for love.
live for love.
Let's live, laugh, love, life, love, live, and laugh.
In that order.
Yes.